Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Taskforce Echo, Episode 8, where, as you all should be seeing, currently we have a new overlay. Huzzah for that! And for inspiration, those of you that watched Vampire Show, you've already seen this overlay, so don't just enjoy it again, because it's special for people who are seeing it for the first time, god damn it. I'm John. I'm the executive producer here at Final Show Films, and I now turn it over to our game master for the evening, William.
Hello, I am William, and I am acting in the role of the Cthulhu Sector for this episode of StarCraft RPG Taskforce Echo. Now that I can actually see the overlay on my screen, let's start introducing our players, starting with, on our top left, we have John.
Yep, hi, I'm John. I'm playing Fang, the Primal Zerg.
I'm flipped, aren't I? Pointing up here. Yeah. And then our middle left, we have Jack.
Hi everybody, I'm Jack. I'm playing Koronix, the Nerazim Protoss.
And then our lower left, we have Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm playing Stefan, the Terran agent.
And then our top right, we have Cody.
I'm Cody. I'm playing Oswald, the Terran pilot.
And on my middle right, we have Aaron.
Hi, I'm Erin. I am playing Ava, the medic.
She's
Sorry.
our ethics officer.
It says Terran Medic right underneath your portrait.
And
I was trying to figure out which direction to point, and I forgot to figure out what I was saying.
And we are missing Sarah because she is heading to a convention right now. If she manages to get to her hotel or place where she can sit down early enough, she'll try and join us. But if not, we will just be missing her for this session. Who normally plays Rachel, the Terran mercenary. All right. So when last we left off, the group of you had just reconvened after gathering information from the Angel's Arms. And we're gathering together to decrypt and find more out from what you had gathered. Ghost, Stone, and Vasquez from Task Force Whiskey are there. And it is at this moment that the group of you also leveled up, which means as the group of you are beginning to look over your data and examine what you found, there is a sound of cracking bone and shifting muscle as you look over your shoulder and you see Fang, his body begins to spasm and twitch as bones rearrange and musculature extends, and the canine legs on the front paws shift up as his entire torso snaps to upright position, and his head shifts as the neck is now pointing forward for his new upright position as opposed to pointing upward as it was prior. Facial features shift as arms and legs rearrange and bone and mass and musculature begins to resettle in a vaguely humanoid shape. Still not human, but humanoid.
Bipedal,
maybe?
at least, right?
Yeah,
Bipedal, yeah.
bipedal, certainly.
So I was checking over Fang's pet dog. Dogs seem okay with this, or no?
The dog doesn't know what to make of it. Like you're not an animal communication expert, so you don't know exactly how it's feeling. But it doesn't seem to panic. It doesn't seem to react strongly.
Well, pet the dog a few times. Congratulations, Fang.
Cock an eyebrow.
Yeah,
I think
I'm gonna
covered
make a
the-
science check.
So,
I'm assuming that I made this check already, or for the last time Fang did a thing.
Yeah, this is evolution.
Yep.
So,
Congratulations. Moving on.
looking at my new digits and sort of flexing limbs and just sort of seeing how everything fits together and works together, look up at Stefan and very clearly directing gaze at Stefan. hold out hands and
He's gonna kill you.
and just like point and
Okay.
mimic shooting a gun.
I do believe we have an extra, Captain.
Or he wants to kill you.
I prefer to think of it as the former. Yes, we do. Actually, I will grab my, what is it that I have?
He's gonna immediately hand the gun to the Zerg because he asked.
No.
You don't even know that's what he was asking.
Maybe
We've
he
got
wants
3
to be
repeating
shot.
pistols.
Yes, I understand. This is Stefan's experiment. I have
wants
I have a
this.
pistol. I will pull it out. Quickly take the clip out. And hand it over.
Did you empty the chamber?
Yes.
Okay.
Empty the magazine, empty the chamber.
So, grab it. Look
Roll me
at
an
it.
intelligence check to see if you can figure it out. Because you're still not sapient.
Yep. And let me pull up my character sheet.
Just
You
gum it.
probably have
Like,
like
oh,
a
is this how I
minus
do it?
10 for alien tech.
Yeah. And that would be a science check actually. So this is just your raw intelligence. You won't have a minus 10 because this isn't like a science check.
Okay.
This is just because your intelligence is the only thing you're adding to this. You're not adding any skills.
That would be a 9.
It
I have a 3 intelligence now.
yeah.
I'm like,
You
sort of
can
hang on.
point it and pull. You don't really understand what it does though. Like you have seen others point and pull and things have hurt people.
So yeah.
But you're like basically the association that you can make is that when you point and pull, things get hurt.
So I point it at like the floor, and pull the trigger.
Nothing happens because it's not loaded.
Click, click, click.
Fang, always treat a gun as though it's loaded.
I think he has to understand first.
Just because he doesn't understand is not a reason to be impolite. We've gone over this.
I just like hold it up, dangling it from like
She has a point.
like the ring on the bottom of the. I'm assuming it has like a bind ring on the bottom of the grip.
It's
It's
pistol.
like holding it from that. Hand it towards Cornix.
Cornix will take it. Set it on the table with the rest of the pile of weapons. All of these unsecured weapons that we just have floating around the Akundalar.
I mean, it's never
I
been a
keep looting
concern
bodies.
before.
None of you people who can actually use this
By
shit
the
ever
way,
use it.
Cornix. Oh, Cornix, would you mind if I checked through that, see if there's anything I could use?
Speaking of, who's
Absolutely.
taking a look at the data?
Cornix had
I-
a copy of the data, so he was.
I was the one who asked for the data, so probably. I just wanted
But I
to see
think
if I could use the armor.
Oh yeah, you can definitely like it's let me find the exact suit. Armor. The armor that they have is protective vest.
Okay, I'll put that in my inventory, and can we say I put it on next time we take like a break?
Yeah, it's literally it's a flak vest. You can put it on.
well then
now.
I'll just put it on. You know.
How many of those are there?
3.
3.
Because seeing like Ava do that, I'm going to walk over and pick one of them up and try to put it on and fail, obviously. But
It doesn't like it by no means fits on your frame.
well, like I'm very clearly mimicking Ava and
Yeah.
like picking it up, putting it in. Where
I'm a
it should.
tad small. I assume I'm a tad smaller than you, Fang, but I think we could
I'm-
possibly get it adjusted.
I'm pretty much right now the size of Cornix, so it's like
Yeah.
So, yes, because Ava's a small human.
Yeah.
I'm just watching the whole
Protoss
thing.
are already
and
bigger than
being
Terrans by
serious.
natural
Yeah.
size.
Yeah, do you have an inner monologue of going, oh, he thinks he's people?
No, actually, not for
There's-
Ava.
Ava has a copy of the disc, and there's also a copy in the database that has been uploaded to Vera. If you intend to pour over the information that is on the data disk, if someone would like to go to the handouts and read the Angel's Arms data out loud, please.
I will do so.
Unless you're not sharing it with the group, in which case read it in silence and look smug.
I'm not sad.
Will Coronix be reading it out loud? Because Ava will not be.
Yes, Coronix will be reading it out loud.
I mean, it's public data. You all can access it. I'm only asking you to read it out loud for the sake of the audience.
Right. Notes on Project K isolation. Potential subjects relocated to Black Site 1 for testing. Subject E prime secured after positive confirmation of K potential. Subjects E alpha through delta escaped, but last known positions are included. E alpha reclaimed, relocated to Black Site 2 for enlightenment. E beta escaped. Last known location, Dead Man's Port. Primary settlement of D-3974, known as Dead Man's Rock. Odds of locating slim. Dead Man's Port is lawless. An organization is based solely on skill and wealth. The perfect place for E beta's skill set to exploit and disappear. E gamma escaped. Last known location, Meinhof. Likely impossible to reclaim, as the subject will most likely have used their skills to ingratiate themselves with the populace, still suffering in the wake of the last Great War. E Delta escaped. Last known location in transit. Personality profile indicates the subject may seek to isolate themselves by traveling to war-torn worlds. Primary candidates: Char, Tarsonis, Chalsara. Antigua Prime additional possibility, but reconstruction efforts make it less likely. Searching for information regarding Theodore also shows that he is among the subjects relocated to Black Site 1 for testing.
Black Site 1 is such a lovely name.
Almost as good as Black Site 2, the sequel.
Black Site 3, The Reckoning.
So that is the relevant information that you have pulled from the data on the Angel's Arms, and it does contain
No
physical and mental health
additional
information.
like medical stuff I could look at
No, they're,
for
like,
the kind of experimentation.
The kind of experimentation that's going on in the Black Sites, no. But the Angel's Arms database does have physical and mental health information on the majority of the psionics that stayed there over the past several months.
Cool.
What kind
Is
of
there
role would
any
it-
indicator of if they were screening for something specific that might be?
Mostly just psionic potential.
Okay.
I was gonna say, yeah, there was the reference to the K potential.
Other than psionic potential, like we're looking for people with this psionic skill set.
There are gene scans, but that's the only thing.
Okay.
What role would it be for me to try and qualify? Because we've got 5 subjects that are listed. What kind of role would it be to see if, based on what little information I have, I can deduce anything about the identity of these subjects, or if any of them might or might not be former crew of the Nocturna, back when it was the Nocturna?
Roll me lore.
Okay. Lore,
Or science, whichever's higher.
I think they're both the same. Yeah, I've got the same ranks in both of those. And 20.
Piecing together that based on what you know of the former crew of Taskforce Echo, and the fact that Core Hall was one of the key locations of their search, and it was where they last basically went off the grid. It is quite likely that subjects E prime through E delta are the members of Task Force Echo.
Okay.
You couldn't say who's who,
Right.
but
All right then. Well, He'll pass that on to the rest of the group. Captain, I believe these individuals listed under these E-code names could possibly be the missing crew members from this vessel's previous contingent.
Mm-hmm. Well,
With
Let's
that,
go to Meinhof.
Could Ava make some sort of roll to try and figure out which crew member might be which letter number thing?
Roll me science.
yeah.
Okay. $16.
So the one that you managed to piece together is that E Gamma is probably the doctor.
Rihanna.
Yeah, Rihanna is E Gamma is probably Dr. Rihanna because Meinhof was a world that was ravaged by a Zerg virus. So it's very likely that she, as a medic, would go there and ingratiate herself with the populace with her medical skill set and basically build a population buffer between herself and the Sons of Creation trying to reclaim her.
So, I will, Vera, take this information, cross-reference it with all information you have on the crew, and put together a probability profile on which is most likely which.
Right. Compiling.
So
Done. All right. So, process of elimination. Most likely candidate E Gamma would be Dr. Rihanna.
Mm-hmm.
Based on personality profile, E Delta likely to be Richter,
Okay.
which by process of elimination,
Makes, yeah.
E Alpha unknown. The data is vague enough that it's impossible to tell exactly who E Alpha would be.
Right.
E Beta, as far as skill set, Shauna
Goes.
Briggs is the best with technology.
Okay.
That there is, however, also a possibility that Nightfall would be the skill set to exploit and disappear in the lawless lands. In fact, even Captain Alexander could be E Beta. In fact, all three of these final subjects could be any of the three.
Which
The only ones that we
one,
can truly
based
confirm are
on...
E Gamma and Delta.
Okay.
So at this point, you're all probably hearing a clicking sound.
Mm-hmm.
As I've picked up one of the guns off the table and am messing with it. One of the ones that was taken off the bodies.
Okay.
And I sort of point it at a wall and pull the trigger.
Was it still loaded?
Nope.
Did you strip all the ammunition out of all of the guns?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you're hearing just clicking sounds as I'm going through the weapons on the table and click.
Just dry firing them at the wall.
Yeah. Trying to figure out what this means.
Bang, we can teach you how to do that later. I'm sorry this isn't very interesting for you.
Click, click. Click, click.
Eventually someone gives him a loaded gun. Bang, bang! Oh, that's how it works.
Shit!
Yeah.
Bang!
He's
Whoever
gonna
gives
shoot
him a
himself
loaded
in the
gun
face
is-
or something like that, and then throw the gun.
The
Whoever
person
gives
who
him a loaded
gives
gun's
him a
gonna-
loaded gun is fired.
And we all know Stefan's version of fired.
Did
Fired out the airlock.
Did any of the people that they killed in that place have like melee weapons on them,
I mean, there were
Nope.
like combat knives
Yeah.
or anything?
Not that we reclaimed, I don't think.
not that you reclaimed.
No,
I think you ate the one combat knife.
I didn't need any of it because they.
Yeah,
didn't-
as far as surplus
give me
weaponry that Koronix has acquired, there's one auto rifle and 3 repeating pistols.
Koronix, the person who's actually looting, despite not
So-
knowing what he's doing with any of it.
It's like pick up the auto rifle and just like sort of look at it,
Yeah, that one's
Swing.
hella unloaded.
swing it around a couple times like a club.
No, this is good because as long as we have an enormous mess of useless weapons for him to explore, he's not wandering around the ship fighting the loaded weapons.
Yes, Adjutant,
Yeah.
do you mind locking the medical bay just for now?
This is like keys
sure.
for a baby.
Door locked.
Armory as well likely would be wise,
Yes.
given that that's where all the live ammunition is stored.
I'm armory
Don't
locked.
we
Well,
lock our armory anyway?
I would
Avis says,
certainly
having never
hope so.
actually gone in there.
Yes.
Who's in,
I'd
Yes,
who's
up
in
to you
charge of
guys
the
whether
army?
you lock your armory.
Koronix has always had open access to it, so he's never been.
Yes.
I don't
He
lock it.
absolutely locked the armory so that when Fang was less bipedal, he didn't go in there and eat everything.
That's right.
Well, he'd only eat it if it shot him.
Captain, just as a warning, I suspect him eating everything is still a concern.
Yeah, that.
I'm not disagreeing. All right.
Well, there are a number of possible destinations that we can
Yes.
proceed to based on this information.
Captain,
Shall
would you like
we?
me to open up a line to Matt Mercer to Matt Horner?
Yes, please do.
Open up a line to Matt Mercer. Get him in on this game.
Don't think
Yeah,
we can
no,
do that.
It's the best adjutant ever.
I think he's busy right now.
Admiral Horner
Yeah.
would probably like to
Admiral
receive
Mercer.
updates.
Oh, right.
Yes, please.
So open up a line to Admiral Horner. All right. A few moments later, the screen opens up and Matt Horner's face appears on screen. Taskforce Echo, good to hear from you. We just got the tight beam from the data you captured from the Angel's Arms.
I step into view of the monitor and just sort of look up at it.
Hello, Fang. You know, when Stukov told me you'd be changing, I didn't expect that drastically.
Talk ahead to the
Try
side.
watching it happen.
It was
That
fascinating.
shit was weird.
No, but what have we just said about politeness? Oswald, honestly.
So we have managed to put together a list of who these particular subjects might be.
Yes, we've
And
been working on that
I'll
as well.
yeah, just share him all the information that we have and what we put together.
Well, we've only got 2 leads to work on then. We can either chase down Richter or chase down Rihanna. Richter's got a little bit of a wider range he might be running to, however.
Right.
But the information that you sent us has opened our eyes to just how much of a problem we're dealing with. The Sons of Creation have more resources than we thought, and seem to be more dangerous and have higher end goals than we could have ever conceived. As such, we have elected to procure a discretionary fund for the task force that should help you get more supplies that you might need. And also, Koronix, I've been informed that the Daylom are doing the same for you.
Excellent, Admiral.
So, give us a week to decode all of this data that you've got,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll be back to you with potential new leads. In the
Okay.
meantime, gear up and get ready. You've got 1 week. Horner out. And the screen
Very
goes
well.
blank.
Look back. So what do we need?
The adjutant speaks up.
Sir.
The adjutant speaks up. Alert! 100,000 credits wired to the ship. Sorry, I had to play with that voice.
Oh shit.
Sorry, I had to.
Generally
get
speaking, it's always useful to have more med packs, but I have a decent supply currently. and obviously food for the crew.
Oh, and it looks like they paid you for the.
Aside from
normal
Fang, I
advances.
understand that he eats differently.
There's another advance of 3,000, so 103,000 total.
Okay.
And Cornix, you have 400 honor.
Damn.
So do we split
Is-
the
is-
3,000 and
is
decide how to
Vasquez-
spend 100
Yes.
or what?
Is Vasquez
Yes.
still in the room?
Yeah.
I walk over towards him and just tap his armor.
Fang?
Vasquez just looks you dead in the face, and at where you tap his armor, he reaches up and taps your carapace.
Kiss.
I tap. I tap the so the carapace does not make a hollow sound. I tap his
Yeah.
armor; it makes a hollow sound, right?
Well, it's actually not quite as hollow as you would think because most of it's solid steel.
Yeah, but it still makes there's room for electronics inside sound.
Yeah, there's a little bit of room for electronics. It's more hollow than you.
It's like ting 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 ting. Fang just does that for for a couple seconds.
Well, Captain,
So,
where are we
yes.
headed?
Well, let's plan what we need to get first.
You got
Besides med packs, is
103,000
there
credits.
anything medical equipment wise we could use?
I believe there
I
have
am
been
very skilled, but it's minimal. But we have a minimally stocked bay.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't have the book up, but I'm sure there's medical-y things.
Had we not mentioned possibly finding armament for the Kundalars?
That was something that was on the list, yes.
Yeah, I have the list.
Yes. I was waiting.
As Oswald pulls out his notepad.
I go back over to the table. Is there anything other than the guns and armor on that table?
Nope.
Like not just that you dumped there, but that anybody else has
Oh.
put there.
Has anyone else put anything over there?
No.
All right.
I don't leave anything just lying around.
I pick up two of the pistols and just sort of look at them and just sort of test. I'm just messing with things and seeing how they work right now.
Also seeing how your hands work.
Yeah, that too.
It's like two pistols. Click, 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 click.
click, 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 click.
So, Oswald?
What was it? Let's see.
I mean, I can continue making stuff up that I'm doing in the background to buy time if you want.
Sorry, we're just.
Everybody's
I'm
looking
trying
over
to-
their
So-
shopping lists.
I don't
Yep,
have a
pretty
shopping.
much.
My shopping
Well-
list is meat.
If we bought everything on the list for the ship, that's 76,000 credits.
Really?
If we bought the vehicle to go along to hold in the ship, that'd be another 8, or that'd be another 4, so it'd bring the total up to 80,500 credits.
So what is on the list?
Remind me what all that is, yes.
A jamming system, an improved handling system, navigation, target guidance, weapons, autocannon or burst cannon. If we got both, burst cannons are cheaper. Autocannons are 6 times as expensive as burst cannons. The augmenting the ship's engines to be able to hover so that we'd be able to do drops wherever instead of looking for landing pads. That would cost 15,000 credits. The ability to target multiple objects would cost another 10,000, and the vehicle would cost 4,000 with all the bells and whistles. that we would probably want.
All right.
Starship upgrades. Clap, 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 clap.
Yeah, look at Ava.
As I'm still reading.
yeah, medical
but
stuff
medical support
first.
pods are rather expensive. For
Yes, they
an
are.
individual, it'd be 10,000 more for additional capacity, I suppose would be the right word.
Sorry, is that a medical support pod?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
You
a cult
throw
of
someone in it and it heals
The
them.
sci-fi thing.
Okay. Back to tank. Yeah, got it.
I don't think that's useful for Fang, but it is a thing that the Terrans might use.
And the Protoss might use.
Would it be better to do that or to stock up on more medical supplies? Because here's my thought process. We need to get back to the ship for that. We can carry medical supplies with us. Not that we shouldn't eventually get those, and it still may be valid now. But
in my professional opinion, I currently have enough medical supplies that all of you could get as damaged as you potentially can get, that I can still patch you up. And I could repair that much damage to each of you. With the potential exception of Fang, as I don't know his capacity for such things.
Right. Yes, we know Fang.
However, the medical pod would potentially, if there are multiple people in rather critical condition, allow me to pay attention to one without leaving the other to die. But your analysis is correct. So it's your determination.
It would still have to be at the ship.
Yes, it would still have to be at the ship.
Yeah. All right.
Also, I don't know exactly how long all this would take to install on the ship, so it might
That
be
is
better
another
to just
very
do it over
important
time.
question.
I wouldn't say it is I believe it is an absolute medical necessity, but it is a trade-off.
You can get whatever you choose to buy over the course of the next week installed within the week.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay.
Barring some exceptions that would be super extreme, but
the stuff we've been talking about do not qualify as those exceptions, I
Yeah.
assume?
yeah, like everything you've listed thus far could be installed within the week.
All right. Well, so it was 76. What it was? It would then be a total of 80,000 for everything that you had. Correct, Oswald?
Yeah, 80,500 credits.
10,000 for a medical support pod.
Yes. Which we could then add
Now-
on if we
Which
need
then
to.
leaves
at a
Yeah.
later date.
13,000 credits left over.
Now, here's a question I need to ask. It says 10,000 credits plus 10,000 each additional patient. Does that mean you can't add on just 10,000 and or is there a big central piece that you have to?
So
do you understand what I'm saying?
Basically, it's either you can add on to it. Basically, like it's
Okay,
It's
modular then.
it's a modular collection of pods. It's
Okay.
sort of adding
we-
another back to tank.
Right. So we won't have to if we get one now that's only just the 10,000. We don't have to buy a whole separate unit. We can just buy the additional.
Yeah,
patient
you
pod.
can just pay an extra
Yeah.
10,000 every
Perfect.
time you need to add a new pod.
Perfect. Okay. Then yeah, that sounds good. Is there anything outside of ship upgrades that
Like I said, food, though.
food? Obviously, yes. Let me see. We've each got 1,000. So any personal things?
Yeah, that's
Can buy out
that's
of
another
that.
thing. Do we want to just upgrade the ship a little bit and then get our stuff a little? See if we can requisition a little bit better stuff for ourselves.
That's
that way
what
we have a better shot at surviving.
Oswald, of your list
you can
of
have,
stuff, what do you view as most essential?
Like, you can have the ship upgraded all you like, and that won't matter if all of you get killed on foot.
Exactly.
Depending on where it is that we are headed next, there is the potential for scavenging wreckage and salvaging materials from other war-torn locations. We may be able to acquire weapons for the ship at a slightly more efficient spending potential. And given that the Akundalar systems have been modified to where they can integrate both with Terran and Protoss technologies, that, of course, will give us even more options should the opportunity present itself.
So I walk over towards the door and head out of the room.
Cornix is going to try and do a reading on you to see which way.
Going anywhere that he shouldn't go.
To see if does Fang have an intent of where he's headed.
You just see the ship, as Fang imagines it, which is a series of metal corridors.
Right.
He seems to just be exploring from a different perspective, and you see like the image of the ship being rewritten to be larger now because he's seeing it from a different perspective. So.
What is this labyrinth?
He's just exploring right now. He doesn't you can't get anything more specific than that because he doesn't have a name for the other rooms.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Well, what kind of? I'm going through and trying to find things that might be useful for me.
Combat vests. Either if you need armor, we do have some.
I tap my chest, and I've had this for a while, and it's paid a pretty penny for it, so it's served me good so far. But if we can find something better, then I wouldn't shy away from it.
Let's head somewhere and head to the nearest place and pick stuff up, and we can start from there.
Okay.
It doesn't do us much good to do all this planning if we go there and we're out of everything.
Well, you do have access to Dominion supplies, so.
Right, I know.
The military is out of everything, including navigation systems.
Now that your warp
Cornix is
drive
going to have to go back to Unity Station if he's going to get anything.
I was about to say, now that your warp drive is back in order, you can get to Unity Station in a couple of minutes now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's head there.
So now that we took our tracker off, not LoJack anymore.
Yeah, is that still off the ship?
Yeah, it's on the truck that you left outside.
Okay, good deal.
That nobody drove anywhere, by the way.
Again?
The truck is still outside the ship.
Yes, that's fine.
No.
It got driven somewhere.
No, it didn't.
It just got driven back too.
Yeah, we took it to the strip club and back.
Yeah.
No, I mean after because Oswald was like, "Hey, drive that truck somewhere." So they think we're parked elsewhere and haven't left yet, and then that never happened.
Oh,
that's what I'm referring to.
We just went there. We went elsewhere on foot. So,
man, I almost wish I'd thought of that. Oh well.
All right. So Vasquez speaks up. Well, if the group of you are going to go get equipment and rest for the week and wait for your next mission, we've got some work to get to. So, Taskforce Whiskey, we'll see you later.
All right. Thank you very much.
Later.
Vasquez makes his way off the ship.
Go ahead and start flight preparations then.
All right, I'll go up to the front and.
This is not a verbal question. This is a question for the Do we happen to have like a grenade or anything on the ship?
A grenade.
Yeah.
And singular
Um,
grenade.
Sure, you've got a single grenade
All
somewhere
right.
in the armory.
So it's going to take him a few minutes. It's going to take him a few minutes to prep the ship, right?
Yeah.
Is it possible for me to essentially wire up on the bottom of the truck where the tracker is some kind of thing where when they pull off the tracker,
It sets off a frag
explodes
grenade.
and kills them?
Roll me a science check
Okay.
to make a frag grenade trap.
It explodes in your face.
I
thought you were going to give it to Fang to play with.
Fuck no.
Click.
Stefan,
Beep, beep, beep,
Stefan
beep.
has sense of self-preservation.
If you ask Oswald
Yeah.
about this, he knows how to do that.
You realize that while you're doing this, you're risking pulling the pin on this grenade, and you stop.
Okay.
If you had rolled a natural one, you would have done so.
Yes.
Oh,
And it was like,
I
what
can
did
do-
you say about not wanting a medical pod?
Just said he didn't see if it
Um,
was immediately necessary.
It was about to be immediately
It was about to be
necessary.
immediately necessary. Just wasn't quite yet.
Mechanically, the benefit of the med pod is essentially guaranteed crippling wound recovery.
Also, it has infinite supply of medical equipment.
Yeah. I'm just such a heal bot that it's at this level.
Now, those
yeah.
sort of things are only for Terran physiology, though, right?
By nature, yes, they would be suffering a xenobiology penalty for trying to fix you.
Right.
So I'm going to enlist Oswald's help.
But
However,
still, four out of six people.
with time and credits, however, someone with the xenobiology talent could reconfigure one to properly work on a Protoss.
So while everybody else is doing various things, I'm in the engineering room. From my new perspective, is there something shiny and electrical looking that I can see?
I mean, there's a lot of shiny electrical looking
God's
stuff.
sakes.
I'm just,
glad it's all behind a protective case.
looking around, seeing what I can poke into and get and mess with. Now that I've got arms that can reach.
He's
Um,
gonna pull a safety valve off the warp core or something like that. We're all gonna
Like,
die.
We need to get baby-proof gates is what we need to spend that 100,000 credits on.
We need to circ-proof the ship.
Yeah,
roll
we're gonna put
me
foam on all the corners.
perception.
Perception.
While he's trying to find a way to electrocute himself. What I want to do is do we have just some
11.
basic adhesive?
I did tell the adjutant.
You told the adjutant to lock the armor in the med bay. That's all you told the adjutant.
No, Ava said to keep an eye on him, and if he's doing anything he shouldn't, to let me know.
Vera has a standing order about that for me regardless.
Yeah.
Yep.
Has since the day we got this ship.
Those of you who are in the comm room just kind of hear Vera chuckle a little bit as Fang reaches into some of the machinery and gets shocked.
Pull hand back out. Shove hand back in.
Ava does her best
Okay.
not to look disturbed at the thought of an AI laughing.
Is the shiny Protoss equipment is also in this room, isn't it?
Some of it.
I'm gonna go play with that for a bit.
You don't know how it works. It's beyond even a Terran.
Picking it up and like sort of turning it around in my hands.
None of it really moves. It's pretty much bolted down.
Poking at it then.
So
Yeah.
I'll take some adhesive, and I'll take the grenade, and I'll take some string, and I'll tie some string around the back part of the tracker, tie it into the grenade pin, take the adhesive, put it up in between like I'll put it in a crevice by the gas tank or something like that. I'll put the tracker next to that, and then I'm gonna drive it and hide it so that the only way to find it is if you actually use the tracker.
This was a rental
Otherwise,
truck, wasn't it?
Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
So
No,
if
no.
the rental
Yeah, we're
company
not
comes
getting our
back and they-
security deposit back.
Leave it exactly where it
No.
is.
I'm just.
So I want to remind you that in the United States, I don't know about Random Spaceport X, the rental trucks have trackers in them, so people don't do this.
So when
Leave it exactly where it is.
So when Joe Schmo that works for the rental company comes to get this thing and sees something beeping on the side of the truck, he's just gonna get blown to
Exactly.
hell.
Well, presumably
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
why
that
I'm driving
obvious
it to a
because we didn't
location.
notice it for 2 trips worth of going at really slow speed.
No,
Yeah, the tracker itself is not super
I'll-
obvious.
the grenade
I'll
is.
look for the company tracker first. That way, the only people that will find this
Disable
car,
it. Yes.
So
Roll
you're
yeah,
disabling.
are-
You're disabling the low
Science.
jack on the truck.
yeah, science.
We're disabling one of the low jacks on the
Yeah.
truck.
Didn't you rent this truck out in
Sorry,
Stefan's
William,
name?
I made this harder.
I rented it in the captain's name.
Yeah. Stefan now has a stolen truck in his name.
No. Stefan will be filing an insurance report because apparently somebody stole and blew up his truck, the truck he rented.
Yeah, you find the low jack and you just kind of like switch it off and like break
For
it.
our listeners, that was a crit.
Yep.
Or watchers.
Yeah, I rolled a natural 20.
Sorry,
You
I
idiots
don't
put
know
it
if
in the
you're
same
watching or
place in
listening,
every
but-
goddamn truck.
I mean, they are both watching and listening because that's how you view things on Twitch. Also listening because this will be a podcast afterwards. So
Like with a
That's
natural
what I
20,
was
yeah,
getting at.
you immediately find the low jack and just like shut it off.
I don't want to say I've done this before, but
But you've done this
take that
before.
as you will. Yeah. So I'll turn off that low jack and then I'll go park it somewhere else so that
Park it.
the only people that are going to find it will be the people that this grenade is intended for.
or a random
you
kid on
don't
the street
mind.
that goes investigating.
Don't park it somewhere isolated.
Fortunately, Ava's not
I'll
around to hear that.
Park it in a public
Yeah,
park.
I park it
Exactly. This is a conversation. He very specifically is trying not to involve anybody else on this ship besides Oswald.
Yeah. I'll park it. I'll keep it in this landing area or whatever. I'll park it off to the side of the pad behind. I don't know
A
what would
dumpster.
be on the landing pad. Yeah, behind a dumpster or something like that.
Perfect.
So at a first glance, it looked like it's empty. But
And hopefully, once they find it and it goes kaboom, it will look like they were trying to rig something up and blew themselves up in a public space. That'll be
Or-
wonderful.
Like you
That'll
almost
be
did.
wonderful for propaganda.
Or some kid will stumble across it and accidentally blow himself up. And
In that
Yeah.
case, they'll trace. If anybody does a competent job tracing the technology back, it'll be traced back to them again and again.
this truck was
It's
last.
win-win either way.
This truck was last rented by Stefan, who then reported it missing and blown up before it ever blew up.
No. Only reported it missing. There's no reason for me to report it blown up.
anyways, once I get done with that, I'll get back to the ship.
How
And
many
I'll
bad
continue-
plans can we come up with?
I'll continue
That
flight
is a
preparations and then
Plan.
head
It
off
won't
to
hurt
Unity Station.
us at all.
Except for how there's gonna be a bomb explode on the super
on Korhal.
planet. Yeah.
We'll
But
have
whatever.
left at that point, and I'll remind you what part of Korhal we are on right now. It doesn't matter.
All right.
I'm a terrible person.
Only a little.
I'm at this point I've gotten bored of engineering and I'm going to the mess hall.
Is the mess hall locked?
No, they only locked the armory and the med bay.
No. truth, probably not. However, we are.
I wouldn't
There's
never
probably
watch
about
it.
half a pound of salt sitting on the table.
Eat tons of salt.
There's a lot of salt just sitting on the table, yeah.
So yeah, just
Stetman never cleans up after himself.
sniffing around, seeing what I can find in the mess hall.
You find a lot of salt.
It has no essence. I don't care.
You don't try and like pick up and mess with it like it's tech.
No,
Okay.
it's
not
dirt.
shiny.
It's dirt. Like it's odd
Yeah,
colored
Like
dirt.
rocks.
Oh, it's a box. Oh,
No, I
is-
said it smells like rocks.
Oh, okay. Let's say, yeah. No, I thought you said it was like in a box. Like in that case, maybe. But if it's just on the table, no, it looks like dirt. I don't care about that.
Coronix is gonna go practice being invisible.
Ava's gonna go to her room
So
and lock the door behind her.
of the group of you, Cornix just kind of backs into the corner and vanishes in the shadows. Just
I'm in
disappears.
the I'm in the cockpit, so
I'm gonna.
If Ava notices that happen, she'll be like, "Oh, congratulations!" I assume.
Thank you.
So
He says from
I'll be
nowhere.
in my room if you need me.
after tooling
I
around,
will inform you should that be required, Ava Sweet.
after tooling around in the mess hall for a bit, I'm gonna go to the cockpit.
Alright, well, a couple of minutes pass as flight preparations finish, and there's basically like a 2-minute jump as you travel through hyperspace and arrive at Unity Station.
Wonderful.
Everything
more
gets
efficient,
stretched out.
Captain.
Everything
Congratulations.
gets stretched out for like half a second.
Ludicrous speed. Now. The joke that will never not be funny.
How many chairs are there in the cockpit?
There's like a small, like,
It's like there's the seat for the pilot, obviously.
there's a pilot seat and there's
Yeah.
2 diagnostic terminals, which probably have like 3 chairs each.
So I go and sit down in one of the other chairs, and just look like I'm not even caring about what's in front of me. I'm caring more about the chair, just sitting in it.
It's a receptacle designed for being sat in.
He's just
Like spinning around. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, is the dog doing anything?
The dog is kind of sitting and curling up in the comm room.
Okay.
All right, so you arrive at Unity Station.
Basically kidnapped a dog.
It was a stray.
Yes,
You
that
rescued
is
the dog.
absolutely the worst thing that we did on Core Hall was kidnap a dog.
I mean, that's not a false
thank you for
statement.
bringing it to our attention.
That's not a false statement. That was the worst thing you did on Core Hall.
No, the worst thing we did on Core Hall is have people try and feed a stray dog to the Zerg.
I mean that's like sort of part of that whole thing was, and I am being very specific in saying you guys because I did nothing on Core Hall at all.
Details.
I think I had a drink, maybe.
You had a drink. A drink.
Okay.
Yep. And you recorded a whole bunch of stuff from a mission.
Oh yeah, that too. Shit. Only Siobhan noticed that.
It's true.
So we're on Unity Station now.
All right, so it's up to you guys. What do you wish to acquire?
Coronix is gonna go buy a couple crystals.
I'm going
Or
to follow
requisition.
Cornix.
A couple crystals. Oh, well, this will be interesting.
You have 400 honor to do with as you please.
Okay. He's going to want to pick up an Argus crystal and a Callus fragment, probably.
You don't want an immortality crystal?
Wait, an immortality crystal?
I know, sorry,
That-
immortality.
that's-
Sorry, I was thinking immortality slot on armor. Sorry.
Oh, I already have a cloak, and so that's where my shield crystal, my shield matrix is.
So out of
Does
curiosity,
your cloak have an immortality socket?
Yeah,
for-
cloaks are the garment that have the immortality ones.
For
Yeah,
those
so
of
you
us
got-
that don't know the mechanics of Protoss gear and the audience, can you please explain these terms?
So
Yeah. So well, go ahead, William. Yeah.
so basically, most Protoss armor and equipment have what are sockets, which are basically receptacles that you can put a crystal in, and each crystal does a different thing based on what socket it is in. For plasma shielding specifically, the immortality socket is typically things about survivability and durability. The immortality socket plasma shielding, normally in a normal socket, which does nothing special, you get with a plasma shielding, you get defensive energy shield with a shield pool equal to 10 times your psi level. With an immortality socket, you get a shield pool equal to 20 times your psi level.
Which is fantastic.
And there are a
Okay.
variety of different sockets. There's normal sockets, wisdom sockets, immortality sockets, vengeance sockets, and dominance sockets, all of which do things related to the name.
Got it.
And each
All
of
right.
the different crystals, augmentation crystals, do a different thing in a different socket.
So yeah, he's gonna get an amulet for the wisdom socket to put the Argus crystal in, and then he's going to put the callus fragment just in one of his normal ones, I think.
And as I'm following him around, I'm just looking at all the shiny things and poking whatever I can.
I mean, the Protoss keep an eye on you, but
I obviously.
One would assume.
That is the assumption that I'm operating under.
I'd buy a jetpack. No, not really.
I mean, you could if you want to.
Buy a jetpack. Put it
I
on
could,
Fang.
but I'm not going. Yeah.
Jet-powered Primal Zerg.
So this is not something that's on the list and possibly isn't even something I could get at Unity Station. But do they have like toy guns like in the Nerf gun variety, that sort of thing?
Oh, absolutely. You could definitely get like a training gun.
Like either like a laser gun that just shoots light or I mean not lasers, but
Get a cap gun.
And how much would something like that cost?
It would probably I'm gonna say like a tenth of the price of the gun itself. So like a Nerf pistol would be 25 credits.
Okay, and did we get any credits at the mission? I think.
Yes, you got 3,000 from the mission itself and
Okay.
100,000.
1,000 each for that, plus the 100,000 for.
Okay, so I'm gonna spend 25 getting a Nerf pistol.
All right, you get a Nerf gun.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
So, question:
I would have gotten a cap gun.
I know we have meta packs. Do we have what was it? The trauma packs?
I have a tier 2 trauma kit for trauma stuff because those don't expend.
Yeah, trauma kits are not expended when used.
Okay.
There's a slight error
Trauma
in the
kit.
thing. Sorry.
Okay.
But I have a tier 2 one, so if you can find a tier 3 trauma kit, cool. Otherwise, I probably have as best as we're gonna get.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
that.
I will.
Um.
I'll buy 5 more med packs out of my personal thing because I did use some.
I continue to follow Cornix around until I get bored, and then I'm going to go hunting because I'm hungry.
All right.
I'm going to go eat a Zergling.
I mean, I'm not even gonna roleplay that. You find a Zergling, it's not hard.
Just rip it apart. Tastes like chicken.
I doubt that.
Now, you've never tasted Zerg, have you?
It actually tastes probably would taste more similar to venison, because it's really gamey and stringy.
Actually, it probably tastes like cockroaches.
Yeah, probably more accurate.
Do cockroaches have enough essence for you to bother consuming them?
No,
When they're the
but
size of a
Zerglings do.
small mastiff, yes, they do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if they were that big.
Fair enough.
And then after that, I'll head back to the
Out
ship
of curiosity,
and-
just so I can check, what are people's healing
because
thresholds?
I don't have anything else. I don't have a healing threshold.
I know you don't, but Ava doesn't necessarily know that for sure.
6.
6, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, mine is 6.
Okay, yes, then I was...
Yep. After eating a Zergling, I'm gonna head back to the ship and just sort of putter around in the ship and see what all I can find. Just
All right.
see what I can get into. Which, as far as I know, currently is not the armory or anybody's quarters or the med bay.
Or the med bay. Correct.
You can get basically everywhere else on the ship.
Cornix is gonna get a tier 2 Psyblade as well.
All right.
Ooh.
Can somebody think to give me something big and heavy to hit things with?
Yeah, we'll get you a car axle real quick.
Yeah, just
I was looking at that.
just get me.
A heavy tool.
Yeah.
Get a crowbar. It's fine. or just get a dead human, like whatever, just something big and bulky.
Actually, yeah, I'll buy a heavy tool. I don't know exactly what that constitutes, but I will buy one.
It's like a matic. It's like a mattock.
Yeah, it's like a mattock or a monkey wrench or some big heavy tool, literally.
Well, there's a price list for it, so I'm assuming that's pretty easy to find.
Yeah, it's super easy.
Okay. I'm buying toys for the now human-shaped dog.
It's your toys.
The heavy tool is actually a wide variety of items, such as hammers, axes, crowbars, wrenches, and similar large heavy tools.
Yep.
Nice.
Probably a hammer.
So Fang gets to drum on enemies now.
Oh.
Boom, boom, boom.
It is a two-handed melee weapon with the special trait smashing.
Oh, so it'd be like a maul, not a hammer.
Yeah, it'd be like a sledgehammer.
Yep. Give Fang a sledgehammer. Nothing can go wrong with that plan.
Absolutely nothing. No.
And
Not quite.
I'm assuming I can also get a toy hammer. Like, similarly sized.
Yes, for a similar price. Like for 25 credits again. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like a tenth of the price of the actual thing.
Oh, so you're getting a toy sledgehammer, not a real one?
I'm getting both,
Okay.
but currently I have a Nerf gun and a toy hammer.
So personal items, I'm picking up a stunner. Because we should have some way to actually subdue someone. A navigation unit software for my PDA, and a protective mask, because that would have been useful on a couple of missions ago. And I hope for being able to go back in time and fix that. No.
I want to reverse my mistakes posthumously.
But yeah, that's all I can see that.
You don't want to get any armor, realizing how many times you've been shot at.
Yeah,
I
I'm getting
offered
some.
to on one of the armors.
Yeah. I'm going to start actually wearing, once we go out, one of those
Well,
Protective vest.
protective vests.
if you're with me, I'm gonna go out and look for a tier 2 light combat suit, light combat armor, because that's only 24.
16, 24, yeah.
It's
I think
yes,
24.
2,400 credits. So if we can dip into the collective,
That should be fine.
Dip into the collective.
Are we sure we want the person who's taking like 80% of it to also dip into the collective for gear?
Yes. Well, the thing is that's for everybody. And if our pilot dies while we're on a planet, so
Nobody's
really it's
getting
for
off.
all of us.
I mean, I'm getting off. I don't know about the rest of you.
I mean,
No, because
you're,
we will
you're
kill
you.
Voidborn. That
Skill
doesn't mean you
monkey.
can break Atmo by under your own power.
Like you can move in space, but you got to get there first.
I can get there.
It's
I
a little
will-
more complicated than Fang climbs a tall hill and jumps
Well,
off.
no. Climb a tall hill, then stack your corpses on it, then kill the rest of the population of the planet, stack their corpses on it, and climb. Eventually, I'll get there. Or just keep eating people until I get big enough to do it myself.
And the stuff for the ship, if we had to list in
didn't say it'd be
importance,
immediate.
some of that, it's not going to be immediate, and some of that stuff doesn't have to be put in right away.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
the handling system and the navigation system are like last. If we're going to get weapons for it, the target guidance system would be right under that. And then maybe a jamming system with multi-targeting capabilities. Stuff like that. That would only cost, depending on what do we want. Do we want blast cannons or or burst cannons or auto cannons?
I don't know. They both sound so enticing.
Which is cheaper?
The burst cannon.
Burst cannons.
The burst cannons for sure. Yeah.
The burst cannon also doesn't require ammunition.
So
Then why don't we get a burst cannon for now, and we can investigate other potential weaponry
That's
later?
not a
As
bad
Hornix
idea.
raised a
Yeah.
point that we might scavenge something valuable.
Yeah, so we don't gotta just spend
Yeah.
everything. So, I'll order while
Burst
we're in
cannons are
port.
slow, but they hit hard,
Yeah,
and they don't take ammo.
so I'll get one of those. With do we want? Yeah, well, the guidance system is only if like we're firing missiles and stuff, right?
I believe so. Yeah, the guidance system just helps missiles out.
Yeah, and the jamming system then, unless we want to be able to hover too. That's also low on
The hovering
things
is
that we
a very
absolutely-
that's a situational.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Being able to land anywhere rather than having to go to a spaceport is, I feel, that's way more than just situational. I feel like that's
I'm talking
everywhere
about-
we go.
Hush, silent thing. I'm talking about in our immediate future in terms of what we need. That's a little lower on the list.
Yeah. Because
I mean,
let's see.
are we going to go are we going on a rescue op? And are we going to a place that we'll know we'll be able to land easily nearby all the time to do that rescue
I
op?
will again raise the point that Fang cannot contribute to this conversation,
I can't.
and we're making them in character.
I know.
So good.
I'm just saying.
You could
So
get.
what does that bring our price tag to?
We're only at 3,000 right now. A jamming system would put it at 13. With hover, that'd put it at 28.
Oh well, shit. Let's get the hover then.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, that's
That-
jamming
we're
system.
we're
and-
still at, that leaves us with what 62 left.
We
72.
could even afford 2 pods.
That
No.
leaves us with 72.
Okay.
So yeah, hover, a jamming
It
system,
wouldn't
and
necessarily be a bad idea to keep some of that as,
rainy day.
contingency.
we're gonna be here like a week, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the next day I go out and eat another zergling.
I mean,
Cornix
you reach
is
Coalescence,
going-
so
No, after the second zergling I will have.
Cornix is going to try and modify his armor to add the extra reinforcement upgrade.
All right, roll me science.
All right.
And within
And set aside the credits.
within that week that we're waiting, do I get to a point where I can chrysalis again?
Yes.
At some point before that, Ava was going to approach Fang. Actually, Cornix, I could use your help. I have something for Fang, and I'm not sure if I can communicate what it is to him by myself.
Of course, Ava Sweet. What do you require?
So, and Ava will pull out these, like, mock weapon things. These are practice toys, essentially, for children or trainees that Terrans use to acclimatize people to working with weapons and tools.
Combat training equipment. Yes, I understand.
Yes. Cool. That's
What upgrade
Aaron
did you want
not
to put on
knowing anything about Protoss culture. So I was thinking that these might scratch his itch, essentially. Let him practice without potentially blowing holes in the ship.
Very wise. Let's
And
go
we
and
have-
see if he is capable of understanding the concept of melee training.
You
Yeah.
wanted to add the extra reinforcement thing?
Yeah, that's what he was looking into.
Well, you didn't fail by 10, so you didn't like completely destroy the part you were trying to use.
Okay, that's good.
So, but you will have to try again later.
Later. Sounds good. All right. So yeah, we'll go.
I mean, you
take
got
the
a
Nerf
week, so
gun
you can
and-
try more than once.
Yep.
Right.
You guys you will either find me spinning in a chair in the cockpit, or sitting on top of a table in the mess hall.
Okay.
Like sitting like dog position, like humanoid body, but in the dog position still, like just on top of the table.
All right. Koronix will have scavenged up just like a piece of rebar or something for himself.
And Ava will just hand Fang, essentially like you would hand a Terran stuff. Hand Fang the gun and the thing. The gun is loaded with little fake darts.
Look at it and pull the trigger.
Pop! Fake dart flies out.
Dear.
Boom.
Pull it
It's
again.
for practice?
I'm shooting myself in the face with the fake darts. Just pop, pop,
Pop,
pop.
pop, pop.
Oh, well,
pop.
in this case, let's give him a real gun.
But still try and treat it like it's a loaded weapon.
I'll point it at Ava and fire.
Bang.
Pop.
Never mind about that real gun thing.
I'll point it at Cornix and fire.
Pop.
Cornix, I don't think that he quite understands me.
I eat
So
the
yeah,
gun.
Koronix will just
Hang on.
Koronix will if he sees Fang going to put it in his mouth, we'll stop him. Fang, no. Weapons for enemies. Now, Fang has enough intelligence, I would say, that he probably understands the concept of play fighting, because that's a basic
Lion,
animal.
cubs, dogs play
Right,
fight
yeah.
all the time.
I also know that
Right.
this isn't a weapon.
Right.
I've been shot by guns. This is not a gun.
So, Koronix is going to give him the hammer.
Okay.
The actual hammer or the...
The actual hammer.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the fake hammer, like Cornix can
And
tell.
Ava would
Cornix can
explain
tell.
everything she'd gotten to Cornix's.
Cornix can tell that Fang does not regard the play pistol and play hammer as actual things.
Right.
They are
They're chew toys.
They are chew toys, basically. Yeah.
Chew toys are practice weapons for animals.
I mean, That's fair. He's not getting a real gun until he starts using the play gun, so that's up to Fang.
I don't think Ava's told Stefan she's doing this.
No.
Wait, does the
Just for the record.
does the play gun look like a real gun? Like
It is Terran military equipment. So
Okay,
it might
okay.
be signaled in
So-
some way, but it does essentially looks similar. It's not like Nerf colored.
So-
Yeah,
Stefan doesn't know
it
about
looks
this.
like a real gun with the orange tip.
Okay.
Stefan doesn't know about this. He just has absolutely no plans to let Fang have a gun.
Yeah. Let's see how well
So-
that works out.
Regardless
Don't
of which,
you
Fang
think
has a
it's
hammer
possible?
now.
I have a hammer and a gun. I have a fake gun and a real hammer.
Yes.
I put the gun down and like figure out how to hold the hammer with both hands.
Right. And Cornix will just step up beside you and do a two-hand grip on this piece of, heavy rebar that he's got.
Like you initially just kind of pick it up
Like
with both
so.
hands sideways and like hold it
Yeah.
like a rod, and then you see how Koronix is handling it, and you just kind of turn it around, take the other hand.
And I'll just reach out and whack him.
Make an attack.
I'm going to use my side blade because it's going to be the same.
Skill,
but it
yeah.
doesn't. Right. It doesn't do nearly as much damage, and it doesn't have all those crazy effects.
Yet you crit anyway.
Yet I crit anyway.
So,
That's all we can roll tonight.
I'm not gonna do the thing if you accidentally kill him. So,
Oh, good.
It's a piece of rebar.
Right.
I'm going to say that the crit in this case means you landed your strike exactly the way that you wished to land it.
Okay, good.
So in this particular case, it was you gave him just enough of a strike to let him know that this is a weapon and this is how you use it. You didn't actually take his leg off.
Right.
Hang on a second. I'm making a roll.
And Ava will just sit down and
All right, a
watch.
21. All right, that's good. That's good. So, like, thunk looks down at it, and then just like rears back and swings it at Cornix.
All right.
Let me see what. Hang on.
This is fully what I expected.
Let me see what the stats on the heavy tool are. Accuracy -1, but average rate of fire, which means 2 hits for me currently. Actually, wait. What's the rate of fire calculation? Is it agility? Every 4 points of agility is another hit? Yeah, so then it would be 2.
Yeah.
So that's...
Well, it depends on the
It
speed of
depends
the
on
weapon.
the speed of the weapon.
Yeah, average is the speed. Yeah, which average, if it's average, then it's agility every 4 points of agility. If it's fast, it's every 3 points of agility. So that makes it my accuracy with that would then be 8. Okay.
My defense is 19.
I completely flub. So I swing and just slam it into the floor. And there's this indentation in the floor.
What? No, it flies out of your hands and is like one of us is walking by the door. It
I mean, that's up to William.
frames us.
That's up to William. In my mind, I just wreck the floor.
So you actually what happens? Like you go to swing the weapon, but this is not a part of you. You're not used to how much it throws your balance off.
Yeah.
So you go to swing the weapon and your footing loses, and you just kind of do sort of a spinning pratfall basically as you like lose your balance for a second and hit the ground.
You go to swing the weapon, but the weapon swings you instead.
There we go.
Yeah, basically. Because you're not used to the weight of something that isn't your body.
This is why I got him practice toys.
A wise decision, Ava Sweet. However, there is no substitute for the real thing.
Get back up. I'm going to try to swing
All
again.
right, let me know if you need healing.
I'm going to
And
try
Ava will
to
probably
swing.
like pull
I
out a
need
book and
healing.
start
I
reading.
need healing. I need healing.
My name is Koronix, not Genji.
On 11 this time.
So you didn't flub.
Yeah.
But you swing the hammer at Cornix, and he brings the staff of his rebar pipe in the way and blocks the strike.
My turn.
My name's Ava, and I am a sport, but I'm playing Symmetra.
Nice.
So I get hit again.
So I wrap you twice on the shoulders.
I just drop the hammer. Actually, no, I don't drop the hammer. I leap at Cornix using my leap ability to attack against your defense minus your agility modifier. Minus your agility.
Okay.
So subtract your agility from your defense, and that's what I'm aiming at now.
You 15.
And I still miss by 14.
Oh, poor Fang.
Bam!
He's having a hard day.
The Cornix is basically being a harsh instructor here. As you swing the hammer to one side, he just kind of parries it off with the staff of his rebar. He bashes you lightly upon the shoulders a couple of times, and getting frustrated, Fang leaps into the air and tries to bring the hammer down onto
onto
Cornix. He just kind of steps backwards, and the hammer hits the ground of the ship.
Practice.
Funk.
Practice is important, Fang.
You get a sense of frustration, mostly because this hammer is not a good weapon. like Fang definitely does not see this hammer as a good weapon.
And
yeah, the hammer's the problem.
Cornix,
clearly,
it's always the tool.
Practice makes perfect, Fang.
Cornix, roll me leadership.
Okay. $23.
Okay. So when you get the sensation that, in his mind, the hammer is not a good weapon, you set the rebar down and take the hammer from him and whack him with it to show him that it's actually a pretty effective weapon.
Roll an attack with it. It's got a -1 accuracy, and it's average, which means what's your agility?
My agility is 4.
So you get 2 attacks with it, so you get a -1 to your melee skill, but you get 2 instances of your accuracy.
-1 plus 4.
You're the one who said you wanted a heavy weapon.
Okay.
So I
just had something
with
big
your
and clunky.
attack skill -1 plus 4.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to do a focus strike as well to enhance that slightly. -1 plus 4 plus another 4. So it's a 22 to hit you.
You also roll better than me.
Yes, I do.
Like the highest I rolled was
Today,
a 6.
anyway. Right.
Yeah, so 22
like,
hits.
You as you are broadcasting this idea that this is not a good weapon, the Protoss takes the weapon from you and hits you with it to demonstrate that it's actually pretty dangerous.
I lash back with my claws. I hit.
Yes, you do.
It's like thunk.
Well, you hit my shield.
Yeah, I hit your shield. But I do more than I was doing with the hammer.
Yes, you do.
So, Cornix, I'm going to go based on your leadership role. You also just kind of extend the hammer back and give the signal that a weapon takes practice to be good with.
Yep. And yeah, I'll just practice with him until he either gets bored or succeeds.
Let's see how
I will
long
stick
that
around,
takes.
and if either of them kill each other, I'm pumping them back to life with stabbing them.
Hey! Second swing!
Second swing he hits. And let me see here.
I finally
There's
rolled.
There's not really a performance skill.
I finally
guess I'll
rolled
have to do
higher than a 10 because that 23 that I rolled was a 10.
Hang on a second.
Yeah, I'd be influenced to try and perform.
Right. So yeah, basically, as soon as he hits me, Cornix is going to literally like throw the fight to make it look even more effective than it actually probably was.
So as far as you looked, you swung the hammer and caught Cornix in the side, and he just kind of tumbled to the ground.
Yep. And didn't stop until I hit the opposite wall.
Yeah, and just kind of slid across the ground.
Right, and there will just be a wash of approval. Well done.
I've got a question. Because I have the effective of Cynic or Jaded, does his influence rolls against me mean anything?
It doesn't affect your morale, but it does seem convincing that he, like...
What would the check to be? Because I wasn't swinging it to knock him across the room. This has gone to HBK versus Hulk Hogan levels of silly.
Hey, I will argue that was an amazing fucking match. Thanks.
It was. That would be your perception.
But I'm Hulk Hogan in this situation now.
This is true.
So perception, you said?
Yeah, that'd be perception.
Still wasn't as ridiculous as him literally flipping around on his head fighting
a 12.
Sid Vicious.
You might have swung it harder than you thought you did.
Look down at the hammer. You still get the sense that it's not as good as his claws.
And Koronix will stand up and vanish.
Koronix cloaks.
Well
Ava
done.
will
everyone.
Holding the hammer and picking up the toy gun and just sort of looking at it.
practice, and maybe we can get you a real one on the next mission. It's the same process. I have no idea if he understands anything that she's saying, but she will.
Koronix will relay that as best he can.
I wander out into the hallway. Where's Stefan right now? I'm curious.
That is actually a good question. So, all the buying is going on now, the training is going on.
You're hearing this metal slam, slam.
Not necessarily. I may not be on the ship.
You might not be on the ship. It's true.
So, is there somewhere on Unity Station where you would be able to buy things that are not strictly requisitioned? Upfront gear? I'm trying to find a place to buy poisons.
You're trying to, yes, you can get poisons on Unity Station.
Okay, because it's not, I couldn't find any of that in the book, so... He wants to go buy some poisons.
All right.
Because they have value too.
Let's see if there's any poisons in the chemicals.
There wasn't anything in the chemicals. It's just painkiller. There's antitoxin.
Leovant, we need poisons.
Unless there's something under commodities, no. Commodities just has all the drugs.
It just had drugs, yeah. Yeah, Leovant, we need poison, please. Item traits. Is poison part of the powered armor? Now, poison is not part of any of the item traits either, so... Alright, let's make some rules for poison then.
I mean, worst comes to worst, I can buy some chemicals that are there and just start randomly mixing them together, but I don't know what that'll do.
Alright, so what kind of poison are you looking for? Are you looking for debilitating poisons or lethal poisons?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
All of the above, because
both debilitating and lethal.
Poisons are particular for the need. I was actually also going to pick up some tranquilizers, but that's above the board, easy purchase.
Yeah.
I am looking for things that bloodstream or ingested. I am open to pretty much anything because they all have use, and I will probably own them all eventually.
Okay, so we'll say,
So what you're saying is I really shouldn't have talked people down from buying the more expensive ship gear because now there's more money for Stefan to buy poisons.
No, I am not dipping into that fund. Unless I absolutely have to, but no, probably not.
Unless there's really, really good poison.
Unless there's really good poisons.
Unless they got that good shit. That real good shit.
I buy $30,000 worth of illegal drugs just because.
$30,000 worth of that good shit.
I mean, if nothing else, I could just buy like 10,000 credits worth of heroin, and that will serve the same function.
I mean,
we're on Unity Station. This isn't New Orleans.
William, would probably
I was gonna
be the
say,
venom coating weapon trait, just distilled as a thing.
is that actually a trait?
Yeah, venom coating. This weapon is contaminated with poisons that the creature itself is immune to. When damaged by a weapon with this trait, injured targets must make a DC 10 plus half creature's level endurance check, or instantly take 3 times that creature's level in poison damage. Armor does not apply against this damage. That would be for the killing people. Yeah, it's in the Zerg book.
Oh, that explains it.
Okay. So yeah, well, yeah, we'll say lethal poisons you can buy at various different levels.
Okay.
And you can apply them to weapons. Let me pull.
Or
up
just
the
inject them.
Will they also function ingestedly?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that may be important.
Page 45, bottom of the page.
Zerg Swarm, page 45.
And this is the second edition book.
Yeah, I got it. Venom coating, DC plus half. So yeah, you can buy. We'll say that the 3 tiers of lethal poison would be level 3, level 6, and level 9 for relation to the venom coating. So you would immediately deal. For actually no, let's make it a little bit more. Let's make it a little bit more deadly. It'll be 5, 10, and 15 for the three traits. So it would be a DC for tier 1 lethal poison. It would be DC
12.
12 endurance check or take 15 damage. Tier 2 would be DC 15 endurance check.
15 damage. Tier 2 is 10, so DC
would be a DC 15 endurance check or take
30
damage.
30 damage, okay.
And
tier 3
would be a DC
15 would be a DC 7.
Would be a DC 17.
Sorry, DC 17, yeah.
DC 17 endurance check or take 45 damage.
Okay. And cost?
We'll follow the standard tier pricing rules, but a regular dose of the lethal poison will cost...
I wouldn't think it'd be cheaper than Rage.
No, it would probably... Well, it's Rage is specific chemical.
Yeah.
Lethal poisons are probably much easier to get to. So it actually would probably cost about the same as... Yeah, it would probably cost 100 credits.
100 credits for tier 1, and then...
For tier 1 lethal poison.
400, and then... Okay.
I'm assuming I can buy some of the generic chemicals just...
Yeah, you can get regular chemicals.
Is someone buying antitoxin all of a sudden?
Shut up! I didn't have enough credits for it before.
No, it's all
good. We've got antitoxin. I don't know.
And did you want to get debilitating poison as well?
Yes.
We'll say that debilitating poison follows the same level and DC guidelines, but instead of dealing damage, it will reduce all physical skill checks by twice the level of the poison.
Okay, so oh Jesus! So by 10, 20, 30?
I would say by the level of the poison.
Yeah, by the level of the poison.
I'm okay with that if that's
or
what you
even
want.
By half the level of the poison would actually probably be more like.
Yeah, I was thinking like 2.5.
Yeah. Like.
No, we'll say by the level of the poison because this is a debilitating poison that is a one-use thing that you're applying to.
Yeah, that's true. Same cost.
So 3.
Yeah, same cost.
Okay.
Actually, it'll be a little bit more expensive because it's a lot less direct. It'll be 100. It'll probably be It's the reverse of a combat stimulant, so it'll be a little bit more expensive. It'll be 150 base.
150. Okay, 150. So 150, 600, 1800. Okay. All right. Give me a minute to do some math.
Figure out how much poison.
I
you're
am
getting.
dipping in just very slightly, though.
Of
I don't know
course
if you
you are.
saw the total.
I
So
don't
it'll
get.
be-
I don't
Those will
get
be
to go
single
get armor.
doses.
Not
What
that
was
I-
the
not
total?
that I need it, but
74, 515, I think.
Is what we have left, or is what you spent?
shopping
That's-
episode.
yeah, I spent
shopping
74,000
episode,
credits.
Okay.
shopping
I don't know.
episode.
Sorry.
It's
15. Okay.
where'd it go? I had it written down. It was in the chat.
So for William's benefit, whenever the chrysalis timer ticks over, I'm going to activate my chrysalis.
Okay. It's about 4 days in.
Yeah, so there's still time for it to finish and before we leave. And I will tell you what I'm taking in just a moment. As hopefully
Cornix is gonna try and reinforce his armor again.
Roll me science. You do
24.
it. Yeah, it
Yes.
takes you 1,000 credits worth of materials,
How much honor would that be?
which would be you could also just pull 1,000 credits from the
Okay.
ship. But in terms of honor, 4 honor is 250 credits, so it would be for
16
honor. Yeah.
16 honor. I'll just run that on the honor economy because that makes more sense in my brain.
I'm going to take the shadow evolution, which costs all 9 of my evolutionary points. But I am now the you see the shadow on my image that's like that's there sort of ephemerally. Now that's actually there. As I look like somebody took the contrast on my character model and turned it down. As I have this creature is a beast of pure darkness and shadows. It is pitch black and even seems to absorb light around it. The creature gains plus 20 to stealth tests to sneak, and enemies performing spotter or detector actions must succeed a DC 30 perception check to reveal the creature while hidden. In areas of pure darkness or dim light, the creature counts as being cloaked. I'm a
Cool.
Nerazim Zerg.
No, you're a Zerg.
So yeah,
Of course you take that.
I am now much more stealthy.
Sweet.
All right.
So and
Team
it takes
Ninja.
4 minutes for you to upgrade. So yeah, you have applied the upgrade to your armor.
Sweet. So that will bump it up by 2.
Would you like to get an implement while you're here, by the way?
21. Oh, implements. That was the other thing I needed to look at. Where are those? Implements are basically ranged weapons, right?
Yeah. And you do a psionic charging action to reload them instead of having actual ammunition.
Right. Yeah, he'll grab one, probably. Let me see here. Implements.
All of my stealth checks are now... So now I have a plus 26 to my stealth checks.
Get a disintegration rod and just ruin people.
Maybe.
The med bay seems much better stocked now. Because I basically took some of everything.
Nice.
And then after that, I'm going to go eat 2 more Zerglings if I can.
Sure. You got 3 more days, so yeah, you spend 2 days hunting.
And then I'm just going to stealth around the ship. Just
And the ship's pretty well lit, so.
just to test it out. Yeah, I still have a plus 20 to my stealth checks.
Has Feng been using the fake gun at all?
I've been waiting. I have not been using.
Okay.
I have not been using.
I've also at some point because at some point to emulate clothing, I have like found some cloth and wrapped it around my waist. So I do have like a waistcloth that I can put stuff in, and the gun is in there.
Not really like well secured because
No,
he
it's
doesn't
not,
know how to do that.
It's not well secured, but it's like it's rudimentary in there. But yeah, and I've been stealthing around the ship.
That's fine. I assume I will get notified by Vera if you do anything horribly destructive.
Yep.
With my 44 stealth check.
Hopefully she'll notify me if you eat someone, but, you know.
Yeah, Cornix will grab a disintegration rod just to have something for backup, even though he doesn't really have any skill at using it yet, but we'll see.
I mean, you don't need skill if you hit with that thing.
It's true.
Like if you even manage to just hit their defense, they're gonna feel the problem. They're gonna feel the pain. Like, what does that trait do? What does unstoppable do?
Yeah, so presumably it is unstoppable. So what happens at the end of our week? I think we've gone through all of our shopping.
What you got the burst cannon for the ship?
First I want to buy 1,000 mirrors.
Unstoppable. If the weapon
First,
or
I want to
ammunition
eat Stefan.
if the weapon or ammunition's penetration fully surpasses the damage resistance of the target, the projectile continues on and hits the next target in the line. The weapon's penetration against the next target is how much was not used against the previous target. The projectile continues until it does not fully bypass a target's damage resistance or until it reaches the maximum of its range.
Are you applying that to your Psyblade?
No, that's just on the disintegration rod.
Oh.
That's on the disintegration rod. Melee weapons, it doesn't really function terribly well because they
What's a
only
disintegration rod?
Right, yeah.
What's a disintegration rod?
It's basically a beam of
It's exactly
antimatter.
what it says on the tin.
Yep.
I mean, I'm picturing a stick that you poke things with and they disintegrate. So
It's more of a stick that fires a beam that disintegrates.
okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Bzz. So yeah,
I'm picturing the vented thermos for no reason.
At some point in time, I want to sneak up on Stefan on the ship.
Okay.
Check, Stefan.
I'm gonna get even spaced.
40.
Jesus Christ.
Stefan, roll perception.
Really? You really want me to? Okay.
I don't think you could. I don't think you could spot me even if you crit.
If I wasted 20 on this, I'm gonna be pissed.
It's not a waste because then you can.
Well, a 20 is a plus 10, so perhaps.
Then that would be a 20. That would be a 36.
Ah, okay.
If you rolled a 20. 21.
You sneak up on Stefan.
I want to shoot him. I want to shoot him with the toy gun.
Roll me an attack with your ranged weapon skill.
What would the accuracy of a toy gun be?
0.
All right,
Oh.
so I'm rolling at 0.
I was going to say, I assume it approximates whatever
3.
weapon it is.
You sneak up on Stefan, and a dart whizzes past his face. Remember how accurate Nerf guns are?
Oh yeah, no, I know.
This is true.
They are definitely something you can get better with.
I'm trying to remember what I was using for my Stefan go batshit crazy
Because
roll.
even
It was willpower.
because
Okay.
even
And
even
I think it's mental training.
because even if I had, even if it's a
have
fast
mental.
weapon, 0 times 3 is still 0.
Okay then.
You rolled a 35 on your
So
batshit crazy.
that was a 35. So yeah, it just stops as it flies by. You need to improve your aim thing and just keep walking.
Click, 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 click.
Just add an extra +4. They don't add the extra.
Oh, it's just an extra +4? Okay.
Yeah, it's always +4.
Click, click, click. Oh, well, in that case, I would assume it's fast, because it's modeled after a regular pistol.
Yeah.
Hang on. In that case, it would be a +8, so hang on. 17.
My defense is actually 17. So
yeah, like in a flurry of darts, one of them hits you.
turn around. Now that's just a waste of ammunition. You need to improve your aim.
22.
Not how quickly you pull the trigger. Donk.
Ava rounds the corner. Oh, good, he is practicing. I was a little
And
concerned.
then with a sticker, it's got one of those sticker things, so it's just stuck in the
Yeah.
middle of his
He's
forehead.
got like a plunger dart on his forehead.
Reach up slowly, pull it off, walk over, hand it back to him.
20.
This one's like the center of your chest.
He's just looking at you like completely serious face. He's just click, click,
Yeah.
click, click.
I'm imagining like a Turian with a like a sticker like a sticker dart.
Basically, yeah. A Turian with a Nerf gun.
Completely stoic bird face, but click, click.
Click, click.
Smile. Hand it back.
I'm not reacting
That's
to the thing you're
fun.
handing at me.
That's your one. And I turn around and I start walking
What
away.
about the one stuck to your chest now?
I mean, I went to go hand it to you. If you don't pick it up, I drop it.
I mean, yeah, it dropped.
Okay.
And then click, 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 click. I'm out of rounds. I haven't reloaded this thing since it was given to me because I don't know how.
No, you don't.
How to reload.
So I'm just
Oh,
click,
God.
click, 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 clicking it after you.
You have discovered that you have ran out of ammunition.
Click, click.
I'm almost a little disappointed that I rolled it, that I critted on that. Do I go batshit crazy or not? Roll.
I am too.
I think I'm gonna make a decision for Sarah, but I believe that Rachel would try and show you how to reload a gun
Okay.
because
Click.
she's just kind of a person like that. So I'm gonna roll a leadership for her. She doesn't have
Valid
any
point.
things yet, so
You know, if Fang goes to Ava with the gun emptied, she'll show him how to reload it, but he probably doesn't.
I thought aren't you standing there while I'm clicking it at him? I think you.
Oh,
can-
I was joking, but yes, if Ava actually rounded that corner, she will collect the darts for him.
So yeah, like Rachel will try and like get through to you how reloading this particular weapon works, which is just like you hold it and you stick the darts back into all of the chambers.
Then he applies that to a real gun.
Yeah, exactly. He's shoving a bullet down the barrel.
Not only do I get it because I matched her leadership roll with my intelligence check.
Yep.
I also understand that this is probably not how you reload a real gun.
Yeah, you actually understand because you've seen how different guns work and how they have a different loading mechanism. You're like, that works for this thing, probably not for all things.
I now know how to reload my Nerf gun, though.
Yes, you do.
Just like that dog that knows how to walk up, put the ball in the little mechanical arm, and then it catapults it back out down the hallway.
I'm going to sneak up on Oswald next.
Roll stealth.
I'm still out shopping.
Oh,
Okay.
this is like
Several days later.
this is several days later. This is-
Okay. Then yeah, I'm
If
probably
Oswald has been shopping for 4 days, Ava's
Guys, I
going
was
to be
mugged.
concerned.
I was mugged.
41.
All right, Oswald roll perception.
11.
Nope. You
I'm busy
effectively sneak
checking
up
out my
on
new
him.
armor. I'm like, this is so cool.
23.
Crap. What's
Heavy armor. What tier of heavy armor do you have?
I'm way better with this
Tier
shitty
2.
Nerf gun than I am with.
So
than I
you
am with the
have
hammer.
you have a -1 to your defense because you reduce the defense penalty from -2 to -1 from hitting tier 2, I believe.
Yeah. But it increases. Oh wait, yeah. So it actually my defense goes down with that.
Your defense goes down by 1, but your armor
Okay.
goes up a lot.
Yeah. 15. So yeah, you hit.
So it's just like this is the back of the head. Thunk, thunk, thunk. Nerf darts.
Yeah, and I'm not used to this armor, so I'm like,
And then I stealth away.
He doesn't take the darts back. He just shoots you and then walks away.
I stealth
That's
away.
fine.
Specifically, quietly and silently and unseen.
Yeah. I'll pocket the darts.
Nerf assassin.
The Nerf
Yeah.
assassin. This is what happens when the Primal Zerg gets bored and there's nothing to kill.
I would rather the Primal Zerg start attacking people with a Nerf gun than to start like eating random machinery. So
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was part of the thought.
Then I want to sneak up on the adjutant.
you walk into the room and the adjutant stares at you.
I shoot at the adjutant. 22.
The adjutant can't move. Hang on, just for the test of it, what is an adjutant's defense?
What is
23.
Really?
Oh, that's right, because she can fuck with the ship to make you not get
The ship suddenly lurches.
Like you walk into the room and the adjutant looks at you. You fire the darts at the adjutant, and the ship itself just and you lose your footing for a second, and the dart flies wide.
I like the idea that like there's engineers actively putting
Adjutant,
guns on
is
the
there
ship
an
right
issue?
now. And like there's an engineer hanging off the side of the ship now because the ship lurched. It's like, fuck! What's going on?
Yeah, I'm in the cockpit just fucking. Oh, this is awesome. Wham! Just hit something. What the fuck was that?
You had Nerf darts to the back of the head, then head to the
Sorry, Ava, you were like, adjutant, is there an issue? And you just get laughter over the comms. Like, synthetic, but Irish laughter.
Ava will stomach her deeply, deeply unsettled by that brain.
Fang just looks at the gun confused. Because he can't make the connection that the adjutant is what did that, so he's thinking the gun did that now.
This is a powerful weapon.
He's just really confused because he knows it's a toy, but he also doesn't know what did that.
Oh god.
Has the week ended yet?
Does anyone else have anything else they needed to do over the course of this week?
Nope, I think I'm good.
No one wanted to acquire a suit of power armor for later.
No,
No, that would kill my agility.
I mean, yes, you could have gotten powered armor yourself, but like anyone wanted to get like Terran power armor for later.
Just
Did
in
we
case.
buy a vehicle, by the way?
Did
Yeah.
you also buy a vehicle?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Did we want to buy a vehicle? Because with all the bells and whistles, I have it at 4,000 credits.
Shit, yeah.
So this is with with side-mounted guns, encasement, a navigation system, and improved capacity, so it can carry all of us. So it's got encasement, navigation system, improved handling,
I mean,
improved capacity, and a side-mounted gun.
I believe the answer is yes.
Yeah. Then we got
Hell
one of
yes.
those.
Sounds worth it.
So I don't know what the total for the collective pool of credits is, but it just went down by 4,000. You're quiet.
Jeremy, I think you're muted.
It was, yes, I was muted. So I don't torment you all with my typing. It was up here somewhere.
Last time, I don't know how much the med thing costs.
10,000 for one pod.
So, okay, so yeah.
Actually, I should point out, Cornix, that a Protoss heavy power suit actually increases your agility.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it also has very cumbersome, which reduces your stealth, athletics, and agility check, or stealth, athletics, and something else checks.
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics checks by 3.
Nerazim don't wear power armor.
5 minus 1,250.
That's a Tal'Darim and Kalai thing.
Minus, and he said
I mean, to be
4,000.
fair, he's part of the Daylon. He might adopt power armor for the sake of survival.
I'm just imagining this really bulky, like I'm just imagining Artanis cloaked. just
You can also get a light power suit, which is only cumbersome, but still provides a lot of good protection.
That's what I have. I have a light combat.
Yeah,
So-
Protoss power suit doesn't require training, but it's also really good.
let me look at that.
How much water? Can you get like a Strife greatsword to give to Fang? That'd be
No.
like an ideal.
I mean, I could, but I'm not going to.
Just here, Fang. Here's a big bladed
If Fang
thing.
proves himself very adept with his toy weapons, Ava will enhance his toy weapons and then his real weapons.
So yeah, we are at 56,335, and I've got that marked down. So
Okay.
Great.
All I'm saying is that if you want the medic to survive, I feel like a pseudo CMC 405 light combat armor might be useful.
Ava will not ask for such a thing. But if the topic is raised, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, didn't you get hurt pretty bad last time?
This is the GM saying, "Stop being stingy with your finances."
No, not as badly as most of you.
This is the GM saying I really want people to wear power armor, because power armor is cool.
I mean,
Yeah, actually, he might go for the light power suit. Looking at it,
get one for Fang.
your
No.
physiology does not fit those.
We can't afford to get you anything.
Besides,
Oswald
it's,
does
it's
have
her-
Him
besides
thing.
it's heresy to give Protoss tech to a Zerg. You don't do it.
I mean, is it really heresy? I don't think anybody's ever tried before.
because it's
Yes.
heresy.
You have to
Because it's heresy.
You have to do it before the rule is made, right?
No.
Also, you can actually, with a science roll, you can configure the reactive teleport to take you back to the Akundalar.
Ooh, yeah. What would the DC on that be?
I'm gonna say 20.
Okay.
I actually have no idea how this would work, so GM, tell me. But Ava is going to inquire and see essentially what it would
Not
take
sure how to do that quite yet.
Try again. You got more than one day.
to at
that's
some
true.
point get the med pod enhanced for being Protoss applicable. Probably not right.
Try 2 more times. You got 2 more attempts, and then you have to wait.
All right.
Oswald does have a point. Yes, many of us took more damage, but many of us are not responsible for keeping everybody else alive.
There we
I
go.
don't feel at this time I can confidently say that
Last
power
day.
armor would be a purchase made from a collective pool for entirely non-selfish reasons.
I'm gonna look at the captain
We're
and say,
getting
should I just
armor.
go buy it? Should I just
Yes.
go buy it? Okay, I'm gonna go buy it.
All right.
As Zafog gets like probably his first ever look of annoyance at someone
Roll
other
like
than Fang.
leadership or something.
There's no convincing you of this. I just told him to go get the power armor.
Yeah, after I suggested it, should I just do it anyways?
Yes,
Not saying
go
that-
buy it.
Okay. So
Ava,
yeah,
Ava,
but
what's your defense?
It's actually pretty decent because Ava's a skill monkey, but let me check. 15. So yeah,
A
you
Nerf
hit.
dart hits you in the face.
Good job, Fang. Keep it up.
Now, if you had power armor, that wouldn't have hit you.
No, it still would have.
It just would have hit the power armor.
And not the skin, thus not.
You will
Would
want to
have
get
done the same equivalent of basically no damage.
yeah. You will want to get powered armor training though, because it'll be
that's
cumbersome
part
until
of-
you're used to it.
Yeah. We'll
So
talk about that next time.
Well,
Will I need that as well?
I mean,
No, Protoss do not
You're
need
a
powered armor training.
Protoss.
I mean, it's also a thing where, yeah, it's cumbersome. But how much are you doing athletics checks in the first, or acrobatics checks in the first place?
Yeah.
Well, specifically, the penalty is without training, a character takes -4 penalty to attacks, defense, and skill checks relying on strength, agility, and -2 speed until they have powered armor training.
Hang on, Aaron just dropped from the call and screwed up everything.
Uh-oh.
All of everyone's video went wonky. There it goes. It's back.
That was my fault. Sorry, I pulled out my Ethernet cable.
Whoops, just to see what would happen.
Nicely done.
I was removing a drive because
Pardon me while I burst
it was next to my
into
Thunderbolt.
flames.
I don't have the power armor, but I do have light combat armor, and it does have the cumbersome quality, but I have tier 2, so does it lose the cumbersome, or does it keep it?
1 second.
I
Let me
think
see if
it keeps the cumbersome, but I think the penalty gets decreased somewhat.
Yeah, it's gone down by 1.
Yeah.
that's your armor,
Oh,
your
it's
defense penalty has gone down. I don't. Let me check on.
What's the penalty for wearing powered armor without the powered armor training?
1 second.
4, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
-4.
To everything or to what?
To
Attacks.
specific attacks, defense. 1 second. It's in the powered armor training talent.
Because so long as it doesn't affect her Ava's medicine checks, then I think that's fine.
No, it doesn't affect her medicine checks at all. Yeah, powered armor training without training, it's a -4 penalty to attacks, defense, and all skill checks relying on strength or agility, and you suffer -2 to your speed until you're trained.
The thing that I can get that might actually up my ridiculously high medicine check, I should check how expensive that is.
How high is your medicine
you
check
should.
again?
Just my raw medicine check is this,
Oh, hang on.
but my first aid checks are higher because I have kits.
Okay.
So actually, Coronix, you will need to get that because the reason I said no last time was in the first edition, powered armor training was a requirement Terran talent. Now it is
Gotcha,
requirement none. So I will say that you will need to get powered armor training to not suffer those penalties.
All right, then he won't worry buying that at this point. Then, yeah.
Just hold on to the honor until you got the training.
Hmm.
The honor doesn't go away. Unlike credits, it can't be stolen.
It's true.
I mean, unless somebody, kills your entire team and blames you for it. But I find
Which, if you're one of the Tal'Darim, they're like, all right, more honor.
Congratulations, you have ascended in the chain of ascendancy.
You have climbed the chain of ascension.
So the weekends.
Yup.
So at the end of the week, after you have acquired all of the equipment and upgrades and such, you are given a hail from Matt Horner.
Okay.
He appears on the screen in the comm room.
Yes.
I hit the screen square in the Matt Horner face. rolling a 38 with my Nerf gun.
He doesn't notice because it's not where the camera's
Oh,
at.
I know he doesn't notice, but everybody else does. It was a
Yes, we're
perfect
going to have
shot.
to teach him what are targets before we get him a real gun, but he's showing genuine improvement.
And it's like a perfect grouping too. Like all three of the shots are like perfectly tight
Yeah, like right
on
next
his
to each other.
face.
I know.
I would
Yeah.
suggest that perhaps before his aim gets too good, we start teaching him what the appropriate targets are.
Yes.
Anyways, Admiral.
Admiral Matt Horner is on the line.
Who can see me holding a Nerf gun and just like staring up at him?
I see we're teaching the Zerg how to wield armaments now.
Yes, we are.
He expressed an interest.
They are, not me.
That'll be interesting.
Yes, that was my assessment as well.
All right. Anyway, we've done a little bit of research, a little bit of encryption, and found some information.
Okay.
Or decryption, technically, not encryption. What am I saying? So, from what we can tell, Project K isolation appears to be some form of genetic experimentation. We're not certain what they're looking for or why they need specific targets, but knowing the profile of the organization that we've uncovered, it can't be anything good. We've also learned that this Brother Rasputin appears to be the leading face of the Sons of Creation. No one seems to know his exact location, although there are reports that he has been seen at Black Site at 1 and 2. Whether that's where he typically stays is unknown. We still don't have a location on those Black Sites, however. We think it might be possible if the Sons of Creation are looking for the former members of Taskforce Echo that escaped. Finding them might help us find the Black Sites. And while we do have accurate information to assume that Dr. Rayana is on Meinhof and Richter is on one of the war-torn worlds.
Mm-hmm.
There's a contact at Dead Man's Port.
Good.
Might be able to find more information for us.
I was going to say, all we have on those two are a whole planet and a series of planets. At least, while we don't know who that is, we have a single settlement to start with there.
All right. This is going to be a nightmare to call in a favor. But when you get to Dead Man's Port, seek out Mirahan.
Mirahan.
History check, maybe? I don't know what they're laughing about.
Like, lore?
And I don't think it's anything
Something-
you would be able to get a history check on.
I was gonna say you would have to be pretty.
Roll a really high lore check.
18?
Hold on, you never
The
know.
people who know about StarCraft stuff are laughing at me.
Yes.
No, we're not
We're not
laughing
laughing
at you.
at you. We're laughing at Mirahan, who is delightful. 23.
Actually, because you are Protoss and you were actually involved with the events of the campaign, because the entire Protoss race was.
Yep.
You are aware of who Mirahan is and her relation to Matt Horner. You don't know exactly what their relationship is.
Right.
But Cornix is the only one who actually rolled high enough to be aware.
Oh, even I
Fine,
didn't.
don't tell.
Damn it.
So,
because
just
his DC was lower because he's Protoss.
Yeah.
basic neutral reaction, very well.
You,
Where do we find them?
you get the sense that Horner is dreading having to call in this favor.
Okay. Where do we find them when we arrive?
If I send this signal out properly, she'll find you.
Very well. Then I suppose we have a direction. Is there anything else we should be aware of regarding where we're going?
Tell Mira I owe her a favor.
We shall do so, Admiral.
All right. Good hunting, gentlemen. Order out. And he seems like really keen to get off this call.
Fang goes up and collects his darts. And reloads them.
So, Captain,
Well,
we are
Oswald?
going to be pursuing Epsilon Beta.
Yes. Well, Oswald, we have a location.
All right. I'll go plug it in and set us on course.
Okay.
All right. So, it's literally a couple of minutes of travel because you got the warp drive up to full functionality. So,
All right.
so you're in warp transit for about 10 minutes before you pull out over Dead Man's Rock, which is basically an asteroid.
In the meantime, I'm gonna head back to my quarters.
I'm going to
and
follow Stefan stealthily.
And the door closes behind him. That was planned anyways. That has nothing to do with Fang. And using my PDA to talk to Vera, I'm going to ask if she has any information on this contact.
All right.
It's a small room. I assume I'm gonna notice if he's hiding there, especially since I don't have any furnishings besides my bed.
I'm not
No,
hiding in the room. I'm hiding just outside the room.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
hiding just outside the door.
That's fine.
And when next the door opens, I'm going to try to slip through the door, unnoticed.
Fang will probably see Ava come by, go into her room.
That you won't be able to slip through a one-man door unnoticed. You
Right.
Not as he steps out, but before it closes.
All right. Yeah, that might be possible. Maybe.
Really?
Get caught in the door.
You're ginormous.
No,
You're taller than.
I'm medium
sized.
sized.
That's why I said maybe.
I'm
Like,
medium sized.
It'll require another test.
It's fine
Afterwards.
regardless because I'm supposed to be notified if Fang ends up anywhere he's not supposed to be anyway. So I'm gonna walk out the door. It's gonna close behind me. I'm gonna hear Vera. Fang is in your room.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, you asked Vera.
Yes.
Give me a moment. Let me see what I can find.
Okay. Also, just to check, did anybody transmit any personal logs off the ship while we were on Unity Station?
Did anyone?
Nope.
I don't know what that means.
At this time? Not through the ship's computers? No.
Not through my systems.
Very well.
Yes. Why use the ship's computer when you can use Unity stations?
Well, actually, I was going to say Ava probably gave the new data to Coronix if he gave that to the Protoss people.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about specifically stuff that was recorded on video, for example, and kept in personal logs.
No, that has not yet been released to the public.
Exactly. Okay.
As Vera comes back, all right, I've got information.
Okay.
Looks like Mira Han, alias Mira Horner, Terran mercenary, crime lord, leader of Mira's Marauders. Formerly married to one Matthew Horner.
Right. I assumed with the last name.
has a history of run-ins with the Dominion, especially one Admiral Matthew Horner.
Okay.
History of run-ins.
Define
She can't
run-in.
run.
No.
Classified.
Okay.
Currently, she's the chief crime lord on Dead Man's Rock. Took over after deposing one Ethan Stewart, and is currently the number one when it comes to situations on what is essentially a criminal world.
Interesting. Okay. Appreciated. And once that's done, I'm getting somewhere else on the ship. I don't know.
So yeah.
Because
Click, click.
let's get this.
All right. Roll me agility. Just straight agility.
Agility?
Yeah.
Not acrobatics? Not that it
Nope,
matters.
just agility.
I don't have a-
You're too big to be acrobatic.
8.
The door shuts just before you're about to make it inside.
Oh well. I stealth away.
All right. That was all I was planning to do on the trip.
I rolled a 2, which makes it a 28.
All right.
That is ridiculous.
Yep. I have a ridiculous stealth now.
Bang joins Ava in the ridiculous speciality club.
Yep.
I mean, that's fair. My influence. So
Oh yeah, no, Stefan's influence.
it's like
is-
plus 14 or something
But
like
you
that.
also like roll an additional die or something.
No, that's I'm including that in the plus 14. I have a plus 10 and then plus 2 because of natural appeal. Yeah. Which is as high as it can be right now.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
gonna be fun when Fang can actually talk. That'll be interesting. One more level.
Yep.
All right.
If I spend nothing on any other evolutions.
All right, so the group of you arrive at Dead Man's Rock, which is basically, it's almost an asteroid. Like, it's not really a world anymore.
Okay.
And
Yeah, it's basically the husk of a planet, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
it's like the almost dead, completely ruined Husco planet. There are only 2 settlements on Dead Man's Rock, which are Dead Man's Port and Paradise.
We're going to paradise, right?
And so you bring the ship into dock at Dead Man's Port. And the instant your ship pulls up to dock, there is a hail coming in. And I need to get imagery.
I answer.
Pulling up on the comm is
25 to hit the face.
she doesn't respond to it. So.
I know. It's
It's not for who's getting shot. It's for Fang.
It's for me. It's entirely for me.
Do I already have her image? I do.
I was told to practice. I'm practicing. I've already shot at everyone else. Except Cornix.
Would a foam dart bounce off your shield?
Yeah.
Just interacts with the.
I may have shot at Cornix previously and it just pinged off of midair. So
Yep.
It reacts like when a foam dart gets hit or gets left in a microwave. It just hits and melts. That would be disappointing.
I like how you say when a foam dart gets left in a microwave. Not
Yeah.
put in a microwave, just it was in there. I forgot to pull it out. It was, I mean,
Sometimes you
Where
leave
I
it
keep-
open, you have a Nerf fight. Things happen.
The microwave was open, a Nerf fight happened, then I wanted hot dogs.
Yeah.
Things happened, okay?
I
So,
was so hungry, didn't even pay attention.
pulling up on the screen is the face of a Terran female. She wears for the things that immediately stand out to you are the cybernetic eye and the shock of like bright pink hair. As she looks at the group of you assemble. How many of you are in the comms room?
Ava would be in the med bay.
Everyone
Cornix
except for
would be
Ava.
in there.
Would a mini
I
version
am.
of this, since I'm flying, show up in the cockpit?
Probably, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
well, in
Then
that case,
I'd go,
in that case,
fuck!
in that case, I shot the one in the cockpit because I'm up there with Oswald. In that
It
case.
passes through the hologram.
Miss Hun, I assume.
Yes. She looks at she looks over Stefan and Cornix. Ah, you must be Matthew's group.
Yes.
Well, welcome to Dead Man's Port, and in exchange for this little favor that Matthew owes me, I will be helping you find your contacts.
Wonderful. Your help is much appreciated.
So, do we have any information on who we're looking for?
Yes. Well, we are not 100% certain who it is. We have a few possibilities.
Specifically, you have 3.
Yes.
On the crew dossier, your possibilities are Alexander Ravenhall, Joshua Lawson, and Shauna Briggs.
Yep.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, Cornix
I'll
will
go ahead
wait
and
and then
transmit
see if. Yeah, okay.
visual images of them across.
She just kind of like rests a knuckle on her chin as she looks at the group of these. Oh well, these are quite dapper-looking personages, but I'm afraid I'll need more than imagery. There's a lot of people on Dead Man's Port, and they can disappear whenever they decide to. I need to know what I'm looking for.
Well, there's
The
more
individuals
than
in
likely.
question are fugitives from a terrorist organization, former allies of our forces, and we are looking to rescue them.
Friends of Matthew, then.
Quite. Also, he says he will owe you a favor.
Indeed. He owes me many favors now, and I'm going to have to collect eventually.
So,
Up in the cockpit, Fang is grabbing at the hologram.
Your hand
Smack his hand.
Just
Say, knock it off.
smack his claw.
Yeah. The 2 fingers that you have.
No, I've got 5. They're just 5 razor sharp claws.
Coronix will identify the 3
So,
images by
I'm-
name if Stefan hasn't done that yet.
I'm in the process of trying to.
Okay.
Oh, no. Wait. No. Not by name.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely not by name.
Oh, okay.
So,
He's letting you take points.
Yes.
So if you're
So,
you're doing that.
their
yeah.
names, based on what we know, they're likely here operating underneath, because they're in hiding. They're almost certainly not using their actual name, so we don't have names to give you. I can give you skill sets,
Well, now,
if that will give you something to go off of.
please, gentlemen, if we're going to be working together, I do have to ask that we play nice, please.
We are playing nice.
I would request to know the names of those that I am attempting to help you find. That is all. And yes, the skill sets would definitely be of much value.
I am lying my ass off as regards their names.
Roll me influence. You're gonna have to beat Mirahan's influence. Let's see.
$33. It was almost a 44.
So you start to just kind of rattle off whatever names you decided to come up with as lies, and she just kind of scoffs. I see that you do not want my help, as it turns out, because you don't want to tell me the truth.
Captain, this woman is obviously trusted by the Admiral. I'm sure she can be given the necessary information in order for her to complete her tasks.
I promise you, you don't get to be the biggest crime lord in Dead Man's Port without being
Yes, I'm
able to
aware.
make a few deals.
Fine. I'll give the names.
All right, Sona
We
Briggs.
nearly just took off.
Sona Briggs, Ravenhall, and Lauren. Yes, they likely won't be using those names, but... And you said you had skill profiles?
Yes, at which point he gets very, 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 very basic skill profiles.
Now you're just playing with me. And I appreciate the tease, but we both know that you need to give me more information to find who I'm looking for.
Stefan has been outmatched. Is what we're saying.
No.
Oh, not. Don't say that. He might kill us all.
Well,
Just to prove something.
two of you. The Protoss and Zerg slightly more difficult.
I think I might be more survivable than the Protoss.
I mean, yeah, but we'll kill him faster than you.
Your response? I think you might be muted.
I'm not.
Okay. Okay.
No, he's just trying to find words that work, and they are failing him currently.
Well, I mean, so when I say basic skill profiles, what they're competent at.
Okay. All right.
Beyond, like I'm not saying like can speak basic and motor skills. I mean,
Okay.
I mean, that's
what they're
technically
good
more.
at
That's
with
technically
absolutely no more personal details at all.
All right.
like that's certainly more.
It's
than
not
what
it's
Fang
not
can do.
He's the
it's
talker.
not minimal information. It's clinical evaluation, is what you're
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing that
Okay.
can be used against them.
All right. That's more.
He's a talker. Not his family's probably dead and or kidnapped.
Yeah.
saying.
Right, exactly.
Very well.
Or yeah.
Very well. Come meet me at the Marauders Command Center. We'll see what I will have dug up by the time you get here. And do watch the streets. I may be the biggest crime lord on this rock, but I'm not the only one.
Very well.
I'm still grabbing at the
And
hologram.
she logs off the communicator.
I imagine,
She makes tears.
I imagine Oswald and Fang are just like having a slap fight over the hologram right now. Just like
Yeah.
No,
well,
no, no.
after you don't quit, he's just like, all right, fine, whatever. Fuck it. I gotta fly the ship.
just like we're missing all the drama because we're
I'm-
just up.
Yeah. Until I hear something like break, like, uh-oh, my sharp claws have gone through something, then I'll be like, oh, fuck. But
Does she give us coordinates for landing location, or?
Yeah, she gives you a landing pad and the directions to the Marauders command center.
All right.
okay. I'll land and then
Yep.
Coronix
up.
will be the first one off the ship.
Ava
Okay.
will have, during the trip, re-fang proofed for the new fang height.
I'm taller
Medical
than you.
supplies are put away as they safely would be.
How do you refang proof for someone taller than you?
Same way you do it for somebody shorter
Lots.
than you, just with a step stool.
Lots and lots of locks.
Because previously it was put
Well,
up
I
away.
assume that the med bay locks its cabinets. Like,
I would
that's
assume so.
pretty standard. Just like anything that might be loose or dangly, she'll have wrapped around something so that it
Get 'em in the
is-
dangly bits.
doesn't immediately appear like something to cat paw.
Cat paw.
And then she'll make the med bay open again.
You begin to get a sense of why Matt Horner dreads interacting with Mira Han, Stefan.
Oh, I'm not worried about that part of it. He's got his own things.
Um,
I'm so glad Mirahan showed up in this game.
So am I.
so once I assume we're going to the vehicle in the docking in the cargo bay now.
yeah.
Yeah.
The shiny new toy that we have. One of the shiny new toys. Over the course of the week, by the way, has anybody taught me better how to tie this thing around my waist?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, Ava will have recruited Coronix to explain that that's what she would like to do, and then sort of showed Fang how humans tie knots and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Cornix will cooperate with this engagement.
So I now have a properly fitted waist wrap, and
Well, not really properly fitted, but properly knotted.
properly knotted around my
It's
hips.
not going to fall off. It probably has its pockety space a little tighter in there, but
Yeah. I can now
You
carry
can
the
probably
Nerf gun.
run with it without risking it wrapping around your knees and tripping you.
And I've got the Nerf gun in there.
and as long as Fang
I'm just-
doesn't stab her, she'll be very nice about it.
You know, once it's explained what's happening, he's fine. He just like sort of stands
Okay.
there and looks and watches.
Which is why Coronix was recruited to help with this process.
Yep.
Get him like a T-shirt. You know?
Ava really
Yeah.
is regretting that she doesn't have psychic powers.
Before we head out, look at Cornix. We're bringing Thang along with, but he needs to stay completely under control for this meeting.
Of course, Captain.
Is this an everyone mission? Or
I think
Yes.
so.
alright. Ava will grab her pack full of like 20 some med packs
Yeah.
and
Are you suiting up in your power armor?
Probably not at the moment, just because she's not trained
No.
in it yet.
I
It's
don't know
probably
how
not
to
a good
use
idea.
that. It is sitting in
The med bay.
presumably the armory.
It's probably not a good idea to be traveling around the
I
equivalent of
will use
Moss
the
Eisley in
vest.
power armor.
I don't know. I think that's
Yeah,
a good.
I'm
I
in
think
my
that's the best idea.
I will have my vest on.
I will
but-
say once the landing gear drops, you do see several power armored guards waiting outside. So
I am
Whoever-
specifically not wearing my.
I'm just
protective
I'm gonna stealth to the truck, and find a nice, unseen spot of the truck to lay in.
Well, it's fully encased, so unless
it is?
somebody walks up to a window, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
The picture that I showed earlier doesn't have that, but yeah, it's fully encased.
I'm still gonna stealth to it so that when you guys get in the truck, I'm already there.
If anybody wants it, since I'm not going to be using it anymore, well, Stefan or Ava a tier 2 protective vest.
Okay.
I'd assume I'll hand that off to Stefan because I'm gonna get power armor training apparently.
Yes, you are. But no, I am very specific, deliberately not going out to this meeting in any kind of armor.
36 stealth.
As you wish, Captain.
Yeah, no, I'm wearing my armor.
I'll just wear.
Going out in armor implies that you are concerned for. You are concerned about what the other side can do to you.
Yeah, I am.
I'm just a medic.
As well you should.
Yeah.
As well you should.
I'm the medic, and I already got chewed out for not wearing armor this session. I'm wearing my damn armor.
Yes, you are. I simply am not.
Okay.
Cornix is going to find a place to sit in the vehicle. He will strap in his harness, and then he will kind of experimentally cloak and see if the harness disappears with him.
No, the harness does not.
Okay.
It's actually equipped to you.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, we will all fit in. I'm assuming I'm driving, since
If
that's what I
if
do.
Ava notices Cornix do that, she'll fasten any of the unused belts.
Oh,
Look a little
if
better.
it doesn't like disappear or falls, then he'll just
Okay.
stop sustaining the cloak and be like,
I'm like underneath the seats. just sort of laying there predatorily.
I'm assuming Fang is comfortable.
All right.
he doesn't appear
so
to be otherwise, Ava Sweet.
you
Right.
roll the truck down off the loading ramp, and one of the guards waves you over. He's wearing full marine power armor, and he waves you over to stop next to him.
Also,
I'll pull up.
I'm intentionally trying to not be seen by people outside the truck if they look in. So I don't know if you want me to roll the stealth check, but
Full stealth.
that was a low roll, 28.
All right. You pull over. Do you roll the window down?
Yeah.
He looks at you and pulls the visor on his marine armor up. You see a very standard gruff mercenary looking fellow, buzz cut hair, cybernetic eye, smoking a cigar in the helmet. All right. Welcome to Dead Man's Port. Mira Han sends her regards. You're going to want to make your way, since you're her guest, you're going to want to make your way all the way up to the command center. Once you head out of the starport, it'll be on your right. You can't miss it. It's the biggest building that says Mira's Marauders.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Have a nice day. Okay, stay out of trouble.
I start to roll up the window and then drive away and say, "We'll see."
He backs away and lets you go.
And yeah, I'll start driving that way.
All right.
I have a
Fortunately-
feeling that our admiral will prefer it if we make this the very amenable meeting. I think.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but what he wants and what'll happen are two different things.
Oswald!
Valid. No. He has a valid point. It's not about what we try to do. It's about how it turns out. There are a lot of elements here. Fang, shut up.
The bracer comes down and just wraps him between the eyes.
There are a lot of elements here that are entirely outside of our control. But yes, we should ideally have this meeting go amenably.
Well, yeah, I was just making conversation, I guess. Quiet in the truck. It's new. There's no radio. That's the one thing we didn't spring
He
for.
was
I
wondering if
I
Oswald
thought about
received his
I thought
emotion
about getting it,
espionage training.
I mean, do you have like a music disc you want to put in? Because it doesn't have a radio, but it does have a CD player. Kind of standard.
I left my CDs back in the ship.
So there's just this low vibrating, like constant growl coming from Fang.
Yeah.
that's the background noise.
More or less.
I kind of wish you were still a Zerg wolf. That way you would just have trouble like standing still on the floor of it.
Also, I'm going to clarify, we left the dog in the ship.
Yes,
Yeah, he's got food.
No, I'm just like underneath the seats, grabbing whatever extruding pieces of metal I can grab to completely sink myself in, and just hiding from view.
All right.
Because I don't want somebody to look in the window, scream Zerg or monster, and start shooting at us.
You don't know what those words are.
No, he doesn't. But he knows that he is startling to Terrans.
All right.
He knows what the
and the thing about species that are evolved towards stealth, they generally tend to prefer that as well.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I am even more evolved towards stealth now.
Right.
Capital E evolved. So yeah.
All right. So, fortunately, being in an armored vehicle means that there's less that you have to worry about in terms of people trying to ambush.
Yeah, we're obviously well equipped to handle our shit.
Yeah, because this thing's got side-mounted cannons on it and shit, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it's got a side-mounted gun.
Yeah.
Side or top mounted?
It's side.
So it can only fire to the left.
No, it's a 90-degree arc in front of us. So it can shoot. It can shoot above us too.
Okay. So it can only
The
fire.
only thing
ahead.
it can't reach. The only thing it can't reach is the right side. Whatever side is the opposite side.
Or
Yeah.
left, apparently. Cause
It faces the way. It shoots
forward.
straight, but in a 90-degree arc.
So it can shoot up or forward. It cannot shoot
Yeah.
right or left.
No.
That's what the steering wheel is for.
Yeah.
A 90-degree arc
Are
is
we
actually
gonna
got,
Assassin's
forward,
Creed
right.
this thing?
It's got that. Okay, yeah.
So 90 degree horizontal, not 90 degree vertical. We'll figure that out later
we'll
because I
figure
don't
it
think
out.
we're going to be attacked right now.
No, you.
You would think that.
And if we do, and the gun doesn't work, open the back.
Yes.
What the hell is? And Nerf gun for after they're dead, just rip them apart with my claws, then pull out the Nerf gun.
I mean, if it's a big enough problem that we're sending you out instead of using the gun, I consider that turning you into a consumable. You're a single-use item at that point, probably.
Oh no, there's Fang is not a single-use item.
And Rachel's with you. She's just not saying much because she's being pretty honest that this is your mission. So,
All right, we drive wherever the road takes us.
all right.
Well, I
so
mean,
you-
we drive following the directions that
No,
we were
wherever
given.
the road takes us.
No, we followed the directions. That's
You're a
why
Zerg,
I'm driving.
dude, not a hobbit.
With a song
I mean,
in our
really, what's the
hearts
difference
and food
between a Zerg and a Hobbit, anyways?
I don't stop at second Z or at 11 Z's. That's the difference between a Hobbit and a Zerg.
I have
All right.
nothing to add. That's about as good as it gets.
So the group of you make your way, and you end up eventually pulling up to the command center of Mira's Marauders. The guards outside the door have their power armor painted a sort of deep gray, like a steel gray, with accents of pink. Because
Solid.
Mira likes to have her color scheme represented.
Power to 'em.
And as the group of you walk into the command center, the guards just kind of give the group of you sort of a once over, and just kind of one of them thumbs to inside as you walk up.
Oh, we've parked and gotten out of the truck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. In that case, yeah, I'm. Oh, is it well lit or is it dark or dim light?
It's dim outside. Inside is pretty well lit.
So yeah, stealthing up to the door, and I'm effectively cloaked. Because that's how the ability works.
It's not dark enough for cloaking, I'm going to say, because it's just kind of cloudy and overcast.
Anyway, in that case, I'll roll. Because I'm being... I'm being 37 worth of stealth.
Wait, you're wandering out of the ship and sneaking the
Out of the truck, yes.
vehicle,
You
and
guys left the truck, and I'm following you with a 37 worth of stealth.
When we get out, when the vehicle stops, Koronix will just stick close to Fang.
okay.
Make a
But
perception check.
I don't have to. I'm thought detecting you, and you can't block it with thought blocking.
You're not aware enough to know how to thought block.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Yep. Well, and even if he knew how to thought block, my crystal makes it so it's completely ineffective on me now. Nobody can thought block me at this point because I have an awesome crystal. So yeah. So I'm just keeping tabs on Fang and sticking close to him and watching for any signs of surprise, aggression, or other disturbance that might adversely affect the situation.
I mean, there comes a point where you can't enter the door without the guards seeing you.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Right.
Like, and then when we get to that point, Fang will stand up. Because he's been stealthing basically on his hands and feet, like slithering across the ground. And
Goleming his way around.
Yeah. And so then once it comes to the point where where he can no longer continue to be stealthy, he'll just stand up.
The guards look at you, and it's pretty evident they're either really well trained or on a hell of a cocktail because they don't react.
Well, I mean, they have the
Can
faceplates
I figure
down.
out which one with a medicine check?
Probably.
They have the faceplates down, so it's, you know.
Yeah, you hear stifled. Oh fuck!
13, so probably not.
Hard to tell. They just don't react.
Those power suits.
Yeah,
man.
my skill bonus only applies to bashing people up.
Do I smell urine?
No.
Okay.
So you all walk inside, and inside is relatively well lit. There's some, like, you walk through several different hallways as guards point you into the right direction, and you make your way into the central command room where Mira is kind of standing over a table that has a map of the city kind of holo projected out. Ah, welcome. It appears that we might have a wrong accent.
Just smile pleasantly as I approach.
I'm walking behind Stefan at this point.
It appears that we might have a problem, but
Define problem.
well, it looks like your friend might actually currently be in a firefight. And at that moment, we will end for the night.
All right. So, thank you all very much for watching Taskforce Echo this week. Be sure to tune in next week for more Taskforce Echo to see where this goes. Also, be sure to tune in tomorrow as Sci Fridays returns with our Star Wars Edge of the Empire game.
Yee.
which is going to be run by Aaron over there.
Hi.
Aaron- Aaron
I'm doing things.
Aaron will move from the right side middle slot of the screen to the dead center Game Master slot of the screen. So look forward to all of that shenanigans going on tomorrow, same time as this, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. And that's going to be in our Friday slot for a while. So tune in for that. Be sure to come watch it. It's going to be great. If you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe below. And we'd like to thank all of our supporters, those of you watching live, recorded, or listening via our podcasts, and especially our Patreon supporters, because you can find all of our content on our website at finalshootfilms.com, also on our Patreon page at patreon.com/FSFilms, and our $25 supporters, and all of our supporters, but especially our $25 tier supporters, help us continue to make content like this, if you like it, so feel free to throw a couple bucks our way. We appreciate all of that, and especially Chris Kemp from Antitonic, who are those tier supporters. We also appreciate 411mania.com. Jeremy, tell us a little bit about 411mania.com.
Hi, 411mania.com. We are a pop culture site for news, opinion, commentary, and if you're looking for anything that would appeal to geeks, if you want to know anything from what major sci-fi series Fox literally just renewed, to the latest pictures from Alien Covenant, or spoilers from Avengers Infinity War. These are literally all news stories I've just posted today. Or if you're a wrestling fan or interested in live coverage of Impact, Raw, SmackDown, just about every independent show we have, because Larry, our wrestling editor, doesn't sleep. Or you're interested in music, games, mixed martial arts, comic books, we cover pretty much all of it. Check us out.
And they also put all of our stuff up there, and we appreciate them for that.
Yep.
We also appreciate you for listening, and we'll see you all next time. Say goodbye, everybody.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.